Previously on the Bubba the Love Sponge show.
God, how many George Foreman? I think they still sell them, don't they?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think they're like on, like generation 10 by now.
Yeah. Looks like they took the inspiration from the George Foreman grill on the back of the new Porsches, too. They have that same, looks like a George Foreman grill.
Just slide right off the back or something?
Yeah, exactly.
You can
Look at Jay's Porsche next time you see it. You're like,
grill
that's
chicken
George
on
Foreman.
it?
You can grill chicken on his Porsche.
So it looks like he made between 200 and 250 million.
$250 million.
Hogan needed a sex tape to make that kind of money.
Yeah, Hogan wouldn't even.
You're listening to the Bubba the Love Sponge show.
Broadcast rights for the Bubba the Love Sponge show have been granted to this station by the Bubba Radio Network and is intended solely for the enjoyment of our listening audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of this production without the express written consent of the Bubba Radio Network is prohibited.
I thought my mic was off, but it was really on, which shows you how bad and sick I am.
Muffy.
Oh, welcome to the Bubba the Love Sponge show, and I sound like hell.
Sound great.
What's that? What's that?
His mic's off, I
his
think.
mic's off. There you go.
This place sucks.
That place does suck.
Make sure you blow your fan towards
Place sucks.
towards Seth.
So, Dan, I don't know. Listen, I am getting, as I have to, project and use my voice, I'm getting more hoarse. And I did a nebulizer 2 times yesterday. I did that thing that, by the way, that's the biggest bunch of bull crap. That
Oil thing?
No, that Visage or Nasage.
Oh, the nasal lavage?
Yeah, that's bull crap. It's
temporary.
It's whatever.
Afrin is better. Dry you up. Do you have any Afrin?
I don't think so.
That'll clear you. That clears up all that junk in the back of you. That Afrin clears up
but
right, in like
feel
3 minutes. It clears it up.
I feel like I'm too dry. I mean, like
I got Flonase.
Have you tried Flonase helps. Have you tried Flonase will help, Bubba. It's a little more chronic. It doesn't help immediately, but it helps a little slower. But
I
it'll
don't
help. Yeah, why not, dude? Just stack it on, man. Stack it on.
Well, I'm telling you, as my doctor, to make me better. Like you
Flonase.
He said take the Flonase.
I said take the Flonase right now. It's an immediate assistance. Absolutely. And did you do the honey? Are you doing the honey still?
No, I mean.
You need something for your throat, man. That olive oil, the honey, or one of those things, it would absolutely help you through.
All right,
Do you agree with the honey?
I got some of that.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll help.
I got it here in my fridge.
The local honey?
So the Flonase. Now, if I'm doing the honey and the olive oil, do I need the Flonase?
Yes, 2 different things. One's for your throat and one's for your nose. It's nasopharynx. You'll get it. You'll be all right, Dan. You'll bounce back. You're Bubba.
I know.
Come on, dude. You're made of steel.
Oh, you're going to be dead tomorrow?
Yeah, probably.
Dan's really trying to pump you up. Now I'm starting to get worried.
Usually Dan has a little bit better more of a prescription-like remedy.
You've taken everything, though, Bubba. You've taken every antibiotic. You don't have COVID. You don't have influenza A or B, right?
Right.
You checked for those.
Right.
So there's no reason to put you on Tamiflu. There's no reason to put you on ivermectin. You're on antibiotics. Right now is just optimize and treat the symptoms. I mean, you're taking a steroid nebulizer. There's literally nothing else to do.
Dan's saying what you have is the common cold, so stop being a bitch.
Well, I'm not trying to be
That's what he said.
I'm not trying to be a bitch. Oh, you're a spokesperson now?
I felt like that was permeating from Dan.
So Dan,
There's like a stand-up desk over here. Asshole.
So anyway, I think we can take the sneaker pull off. Is it still up on?
No, it's today's. Did you hit the like button today?
Yeah,
That's the one that we're supposed to have there every morning.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
it's up.
Hit the like button. So Dan, I don't know if you know or not, but I went to Cadillac and was helping my mom get through her lease process. And God, I do sound like crap, don't I?
Nah, you sound beautiful, man.
Jesus.
You need to do a throw clear reset.
I think
You're
Dan.
like
I think
Adele's
Dan.
voice.
Usually Dan would put me on something a little more prescription-y, but I think Dan wants me to die so he could take over the show.
I'm not. First of all, if you die, there's no chance you're giving me the show. Secondly, if you die, all they'll do is play best ofs for like 4 years because you have enough.
No, if I die,
And we'll give all the money to Tara.
I think
Mom.
I think if I die, the show can probably continue on. If it could generate enough money to pay the bills and pay these guys' salary,
There's
you know?
not going to be a show when you die.
This is the Bubba the Love Sponge show without Bubba the Love Sponge.
Hold on. The Kid Craddock show from Dallas. Kid Craddock died, and they kept the show as the Kid Craddock show with all the with all the members.
Isn't the Bob and Tom show the same way?
Yeah, Bob and Tom's the same way. Bob left, and Tom took over, and they call it the Bob and Tom show, even though Bob ain't there no more.
Okay, well, we'll carry out whatever your final wishes are. Just, if you're planning on dying today, it would be cool if you let us know. Just
Yeah.
for the rest of the week.
Yeah.
I actually had our dear friend commit suicide yesterday. I found out.
Somebody I know.
I don't know if you met him or not. It was up in
Jersey?
No, it wasn't. It was just north of your track. And
North of my track?
Yep.
Do you know
up
the
in that
reason?
Where?
area.
Like Gainesville?
Yeah.
And
I'm not supposed to say too much about it.
no,
but
I'm not going
I
to.
don't want to say too much
Just-
about it. But apparently,
No, hold on. Let me ask the questions. That way you won't say too much about it because I don't know anything about it. That is like, was he a college friend?
he was a friend I had when I was in medical school, and he was up there. He had gone to college there, so I knew him for like 30.
So he was like
7 years,
like a Gainesville lifer almost.
Yes, he had a lot of businesses associated with that town.
Right.
So.
Okay. And
And it's life of the party, really fun guy. Talked to him as recently as 3 weeks ago. I've known him for 35 years.
Oh,
I mean, the
man.
guy took me under his wing when I got up to Gainesville. My first year, he was really good friends with my best friend from St. Pete, and so I was literally,
So he kinda
king,
showed you-
of the town.
he
with
showed
him.
you. He showed you around.
Oh, dude, he was.
When you get a guy that's tied into a small college town and he takes you underneath his wing and he shows you all the hot spots and where all the horrors are. And,
What was that movie with that guy that was really old in college still with the golf cart?
Rodney
Van
Dangerfield?
Wilder.
Yeah, it was like he was like that. Man. He ran the whole town, man. Ran the whole town. And as he got older, he had a couple little health problems, but nothing that seemed like it was catastrophic. He changed though once, and it's a weird thing.
I've changed.
No, this is an acute change. He did one of those like week-long benders in Vegas.
Oh.
And didn't sleep the whole week. And never was the same.
Did that kind of like
Triggered something.
really?
Yeah, he was never the same. Never the same. He was always like a little off, like that dog that died and came back to life.
Now, if
You mean like it jacked up the mentals or just...
Yeah, it's just he just had this. He just had this wild hair that he had a little bit of as a kid, like I have, but there was just completely like unshielded afterwards. And
so it'd be like Dan unhinged.
unhinged, yeah, be me unhinged, and he was a little self-destructive, but not really,
Kind of like when we used to go to Florida Man radio parties and how you become completely unhinged.
Yes, but he would, but he wasn't like a sloppy drunk. But he would drink, and he, sometimes take other things. But
Sure,
he was
party.
always like, but he wasn't the guy that was mad. He wasn't the guy that started fights. He wasn't the guy that like sat in the corner and didn't talk. He was He was a Bubba Dan guy that walked in the room and lit up the room. And apparently, he did it in front of his girlfriend and his best friend and 35-year business partner.
You mean offed himself?
Right in front of him.
Oh, that's not...
Oh
Which is so effed up. And
Wow.
I found
He
out at
did?
lunchtime. Yeah, I found out at lunchtime yesterday, and I literally cried all afternoon.
With a gun?
Well, yes.
Okay,
yes.
so
He started stabbing himself.
Side of the head.
no names, no nothing like that. But this guy you speak of, Johnny. We'll call him Johnny X. Okay,
Johnny X.
Johnny Gainesville,
Right.
and it's so distraught, and there's something that's bugging him so bad that he gets an audience while committing suicide.
Yep. And the girl that was with him, I've known for 44 years.
So, what?
She was a high school friend.
Did he call him like all into his office?
I think he was going a little cray-cray, and they tried to intervene, and it didn't work. And usually when someone's got... when someone's about to commit suicide and they have like a gun to their head, usually when people come in, they can usually talk them out of it because they're not really angry. They're really sad.
And they're asking for an audience for a reason.
Right. They need help. They're screaming.
Because they want help.
Right. They're screaming for help.
Deep down, they want you to tell you to not do it.
Yeah, we love you. We care for you. We'll go through this together. Those kinds of things. It was... and I don't have 100% of the details. Those are just the preliminary details from literally like my best friend.
Let me. Do you got the suicide prevention hotline? Because you know, anytime we talk about suicide, we should probably be responsible.
I think now you just go on. You just go to
911. Isn't it 711?
988.
988.
And then when you go, you can talk online to an AI, helper, counselor.
Right. That's not even live.
Right, they're not alive, but they'll get you at some
They're
point.
They're deader than you are.
Yeah. So Bubba, I was thinking.
So go ahead. I'm sorry.
So I was thinking, like, if you I remember when I was in law school, a dear friend of mine called me at like 9:30 at night. It was a random call. And he didn't sound right, and I talked to him for about 40 minutes. And then 3 months later, he said that he had a gun in front of him and was about to kill himself. And I talked him off the ledge, unknowingly, just by being a friend.
Just
and
by
sometimes
talking
that's
to him.
all they need.
Thank God you didn't chuck him to voicemail like you do a lot of people.
Right, exactly. I was like, oh no, not this guy again.
I ain't talking to Fred. Fred's always got some drama going on. I'm about ready to walk into a restaurant with my family. I'm going to chuck Fred to voicemail. Blammo.
Yeah, thank God I didn't
Fred's
do that.
gives on.
And last time this guy called me, I talked to him, but I didn't have any warning signs. I mean, he sounded great.
You know what? I don't know if we have from the Joe the Supermarket tapes to some of the old stuff we're finding. I know that I've talked maybe 3 or 4 people. The one girl from, remember they did I think Inside Edition did a story about when I was on the Power Pig, the woman wanted to hear Stacey Q 2 of Hearts.
Yeah.
And she had herself locked in her garage and she was going to kill herself. And then I've had a couple other people that have wanted to kill themselves live on the air, and I've talked them out of it. Don't call me today because I couldn't talk anybody out of anything. I can barely talk.
Well, let's give it a world dance here. I mean,
that's right. We got a professional.
He knows that you're not really mad, that you're sad deep down.
He knows. Hold on. He knows that you. What did you say? What was that again?
He knows that you're sad, not mad deep down.
Sad, not mad deep down.
Yeah, sad, not mad.
Okay. So, Dan, like. The people that you do it in front of, you've ruined their life too.
Oh God, yes. You know, a friend of mine that lives in St. Pete, a different guy. You know this guy, and you know his wife. He was at a gun range, and someone did that at the gun range in front of him and his 2 kids, and they still are scarred by it. Someone actually shot themselves on the range. Isn't that horrible?
Yeah.
And so, you know,
they're taking your kids, teaching them how to, shoot a gun and be a responsible parent and everything. And next thing you know, Johnny Suicide's over there, blows his brains out, and your poor kids have got to see it.
Yeah,
right?
Horrible. Yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible. And, you know, a lot of times that people, like you said, that are on that verge of suicide are really, looking to the sky and asking for help. And you have to listen to them, and you have to recognize it. And
I've done it. I've thought about killing myself 2 times.
Yeah, I mean, we've all had our really sad moments, but
I mean, I was pretty close 2 times.
Yeah, I understand that, and I remember reading a story about a guy whose daughter had anxiety, and he said, write down the 5 most stressful things that are bothering you the most right now, and we're going to put them in this bag. And 2 weeks later, he opened up the bag, and 4 of those 5 things weren't even an issue anymore. And so a lot of times the answer is just dust that dirt off your shoulder, like Jay-Z said, and get back up, because
take some pills and pass out.
Yeah, but
maybe
tomorrow
most of the time, you
you
won't be as sad.
Yeah, and the next day is usually better. And
get a big bottle of NyQuil. I'm talking about things that can't kill you. Get a big bottle of NyQuil, and then get some Benadryl. And take like a big old swig, like 3 times the recommended amount of NyQuil, and about 4 Benadryls, and you will go to sleep like you won't believe, and maybe that you won't be so sad when you wake up.
That won't kill you?
No, 4 Benadryls and 3 big swigs of NyQuil. Dan, you'll.
Dan, is you co-signing on that recipe?
I'm not necessarily co-signing. I mean, for most adults, it probably would be okay if you're a small person or a child. I don't
3.
recommend it.
I mean, I'm talking half a bottle of NyQuil and 4
$2.60.
bennies. Woo!
Bubba, we heard there's the funniest thing that's in chat. Eric said that you sound like RFK Jr.
I do.
Yesterday, you sound like that guy. Was it Pharrell, the guy that used to do the sports
sports
stuff?
guy?
Yeah, what's his name?
Phillies by 5 over the Cubs. Shake it up. Shake it up. 34C looking good. Oh, I feel.
Take some fentanyl right now with me. Sorry, I called him when I was 13. Told me to give me a couple Vicodin.
So Dan, did you hear that I went into my mom? I went into Ed Morris Cadillac.
Oh, I love Ed Morris Cadillac.
And I was
They took such good care of me.
And I was talking to him because my mom bought out her lease, and I was talking to him, and I saw a brand new black Escalade.
Nice.
And I go, is this one for sale? Are you guys going to jack up the price like you did my boy? And they're like, Leonard Fournette paid like 80 over a sticker.
No, he didn't.
160, right?
He paid 100 and I think it was 180. I think he paid 330 for that car, and it caught fire on the interstate.
So anyway, hold on. So I go, hey, me and Dan Diaco. He goes, Dan Diaco? And I go, yeah. I said, we're the ones that cut the air check and talked bad about you guys on the air and sent it to GM Corporate. And Dan was able to buy one from some little dealership for dead sticker. And he goes, oh, you wouldn't believe the drama that we caused within Ed Morris Cadillac. I mean, I guess GM Corporate had like the owner on the phone and everything.
Oh, I threw a fit, man, because when someone orders a car and they tell you,
didn't you also send them the air check though?
oh yeah, I sent them everything.
Yeah.
No, I sent them everything, and I talked to the highest regional managers. It was offensive when you order a car and they don't tell you there's going to be $100,000 market adjustment till you walk up and pay for it as the car's been delivered 4 months later.
Right.
They never mentioned it to me.
That was never on the order form, was it?
No one said anything about it. And, I just assumed since I got the first one for sticker that I was getting this one for sticker. And,
you know what? That should almost be something that Doge needs to look into. And that is, like if you go to the grocery store and, what's a 6-pack of Diet Coke cost?
I don't know, $5.
All right.
No.
You walk up there, it says $5, okay? You walk up there, woman goes, that's $22.50, please, because we've been having a run on Diet Coke. No, it's $5, bitch. That's what it is, right?
Yes, and so the regulation for price gouging, yes.
Well, but transparency in pricing.
But transparency and pricing, yes, absolutely. I mean, I still believe in a free market economy where you should be able to charge what the market dictates.
Sure.
But there shouldn't be surprises.
Dan, when a woman walks in and she's negotiated a set of boobs for, let's say, $8,400, and then she goes to check out and the girl goes, that's $12,600 because Dan was extra busy this week and had, had a extra demand on his hours and
there's laws against that, Bubba.
That's what I'm saying.
There's like a truth in medicine law that you can't do that.
There should be a law that the sticker price is the sticker price. Now you can go lower. Anybody that pays stickers is stupid. But anyway, I'm saying like if on these high demand cars that you cannot go over sticker. I mean, at that point, what part of public pricing is real?
I understand.
You can't take something can't be advertised for $5.99 and you want. Let me say you want that new flat screen TV from Best Buy. It's $6.99.
All right.
You roll up there and they say, oh my God, this is the last 72-inch one we got. It's $14.99. Bitch, it's not $7.99.
I'm breaking it.
Same thing with Dan. When you were ordering your Escalade, never on the build sheet did they say we have the right to double the price of once you take possession. Is there any of that verbiage on there?
Well, I didn't have a build sheet written out. I just made a phone call and I said, okay, load up everything. And they said, okay, we got you. And they're like, it's going to be here in 2 months. It's going to be here in 1 month. It's going to be here in 2 weeks. It's here. No one said a thing. So, so I didn't buy it. And thanks, Peter, for mentioning don't buy it, moron. I didn't buy it, moron. And I ended up getting it for, like you said, sticker someplace else. Just like I don't buy Ferraris or any car and get a jacked up number.
I can't think of anything in our life that like not the flea market or anything that's not sanctioned, whether it might not even be like, that little set of gypsy beans that you buy didn't have a price on it, and you walk up to the guy and he says it's a certain type of turquoise and it's a lot of money, way more money than you thought the $7 trinket necklace would be. But I don't know of anywhere else in our life where the price, when you go to pay for it, is double or whatever past what they're advertising the price to be. I don't know of any other application. When you were talking about that $25 beer you bought at the Amalie Arena,
yes.
When you went to go pay for it, I mean, up on the marquee it said $25, right?
Correct.
When you went to go pay for it, they go, "Sir, we're getting low on beer, and they're now $75." No, there's no, I can't think.
Well, we would say no problem.
Yeah, it was tough thing to watch.
Let me get Ashley's debit.
Yeah. Disney on Ice is tough to watch. I had a couple of beers.
So, like, can anybody think of anything that is publicly priced one way, and when you go to pay for it, they can gouge you?
Other than car repair? I mean,
car repair. No, there's a law against that. If they go beyond like 10% of their estimate, they have to call you back and get permission in writing.
Right.
There's rules against all that stuff.
Right.
And there is like on the spot price gouging in new auto sales and in used auto sales every day, and the public tolerates it.
What's the difference between that or hurricane gouging when they are charging you $40 for a bottle of water, for a case of water?
Bubba, I argue that there is no difference.
Right.
And,
the only difference is the $40 case of water is advertised at $40. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I mean, I can't think of any, I'm racking my brain right now to think of any other application in life where something's advertised as X, and when you go to pay for it, it's XX.
What about drug dealers and hookers?
Well, I mean,
they do it. Hookers do it. They hold you up at the last second, like, oh wait, well, I'm going to be $1,500. Whoa. The pimp said you're going to be $700. Now you're $1,200. Well, you want me to leave?
Well,
and you got,
we're talking about things that are illegal too.
I'm talking about like in Vegas or something like that.
Well, yeah, what are you gonna do after you
busted your niz,
or before they're there and you're about to and you want to, and they're like, okay, it's gonna be an extra $400 because you're hairy.
The hairy upcharge. I can see that being a thing.
Yeah, well, Seth, you had an example at your strip club. And that's legal for your lap dances.
Well, yeah, I thought it was. I was a strip club amateur, so I didn't know. I thought it was one long song, but it ended up being four. So, what are you going to do at that point?
You just got caught up in the moment.
Oh, I just got caught up in the time warp.
That was just inexperience.
Well, yeah, I mean, they took me for a ride, but that's their job. And I have a great story to tell about it.
So, Dan, I follow this guy on Facebook. And he has, and for any of you guys out there that are mechanical and like watch guys, honing deck blocks and things like this guy, he's in Utah, and it's called Dave's Auto Center. And if you really got a big problem with your vehicle, you take it to this dude.
Looks like a jacked up Larry Plummer.
He looks like with a Ronnie kicker.
Yes,
doesn't he?
Ronnie Munn. Yes.
If Larry Plummer and Ronnie Munn morphed and worked out, it would be this guy. So Dan, he's got a brand new, I think a 2023 Escalade, and I think if it's not this one, it's on his channel. He has another Escalade that's got 4 miles on it, and it blew up.
4 miles.
So check this out. Dan, is this what happened to yours? What happened to yours?
The oil pump pulley failed. So the serpentine belt didn't spin the little
oil pump.
the oil pump, and then so the oil wasn't going.
So the
into
motor was
engines.
starved of oil.
Yes, but despite the fact it had a full tank of oil.
Hold on now. So this was a wrist pin issue. Check this
It's
out.
a wrist pin.
On a wrist pin is a pin that keeps the piston onto the connecting rod.
Oh Jesus!
So check this out.
It's like a missile.
I got it. Hold on. Where's my volume? And by the way, Lummy, I watch this guy's videos all day.
Yeah, looks like he has a little shop in Utah.
A little one. This guy's got a big one. He's got like 1.1 million followers too.
You think he's got 10 wives?
I don't know.
Well, I'm just saying, like
We're living in Utah.
a real handy man like this could, probably.
I was here in Utah.
Yeah.
And you're really running hard and doing well, and you have. I think 10 would be a low number. That would be like, that guy's only got 10.
This guy deserves them all.
There you go.
New Cadillac Escalade with less than 1,000 miles on it.
All right, so Dan, this is you.
Yeah.
This is you.
This is an L87, a great block. It's the LT, but these motors are having warranty issues.
And true, right, Dan?
Yep.
It's
my
got
motor blew at
VVT.
18,000 miles.
There we go.
So it's got variable valve timing through the hollow cam, and it also has DOD delete. So it has the ability to selectively shut off different cylinders. So the National Highway and Transportation Safety Administration has opened.
So I watched this guy's channel, and I'm like, oh my God, it's a Cadillac with less than 1,000 miles. This is Dan's deal.
Up a probe on this motor, and what they're saying, GM is saying, is that the bearings are failing. Well, I'm going to show you. This thing ate a rod. I mean, it snapped it right off. This piston got hit when that rod broke. What I found here is, now this C-clip is missing.
See, I mean, this guy's the man. He breaks it down.
I love gearhead talk.
I do too.
You'll see the little C-clip here. If this C-clip's out, that's why the rod's gone, but you can see it kind of busted it out here.
Look at that. The connecting rod broke completely from the piston.
Jesus.
But look at that. There was no impact there. It's like the casting on the piston just kind of cut loose and the C-clip went out.
If I didn't do, I'd love to work at a motor shop. I just really would.
What would your expertise be?
I don't know. I'd have to come in as an intern and learn it all.
GM dealers, when these motors go...
I can hand lap a valve and something.
You could be the oil change guy.
I can. I don't. But I want to be the guy that tears it all apart and looks at the pistons and takes the crank out and looks at the main bearings.
Re-sleeve it.
Yeah.
South, they don't tear them all down. They don't let
Terry does all that, doesn't he?
Yeah.
the techs do that. But I need you guys to kind of tell me, are you finding C-clips missing on the wrist pin, or where the piston casting has just like kind of disintegrated and come apart? Because I'm not finding a bearing issue. I haven't had a lot of these apart, so I'm searching for answers. Let me know.
So Lummy, this guy's channel, that wasn't the most sexiest video of all.
So you snapped the rods.
So
Wow.
Lummy, this guy's got all. I mean, he's got all, like, I think this is an old school 7.3 power stroke. Look,
We got more candy for you. We got a Jessel valve train going on our Juggernaut build. Now our Juggernaut build is like the ultimate build. This is a 6.7 power
6.7.
stroke. Jesse, tell us what our Juggernaut build comes with. Oh, come on up front here and I'll show you.
So we machine billet caps to mate to the block
With a girdle.
with a girdle, ARP main studs and side bolts. That is machined and line honed to the block.
this is so sexy for me. Lummy, I'd love to be line honing that thing right now. Oh, rather than hitting these stupid
So
buttons.
would you rather have an excavator or like be in a machine shop?
Maybe a machine shop. I think.
Really?
Now this guy's putting assembly oil on the cam. You have to put, Lummy, a light little layer of assembly oil, so when that cam starts and it doesn't start dry, it's got assembly oil on it. Putting the cam in, cam gears, torquing, main seal, main bearings. Oh, that's sexy. I mean, that is sexy. Phew. Just saying, I got a boner right now. So anyway,
Yeah, that
Dan,
stuff doesn't give me a boner.
That stuff doesn't give you a boner?
No.
You know what
it's
I like to
interesting,
do?
but it doesn't. I don't get that excited.
You know what I want to do is I want to get with Terry. And there's so many things, Lummy, that I want to do. That Macho, I don't know if you're available or not, Macho, but are you working towards getting my body cam done? My body cam usable?
Yes, I have it in the boxer.
I know.
To remind you that 60% of sales on Amazon come from independent sellers. Tracy from Lily's.
I'm getting ready for
Wouldn't you watch videos of like a chick putting an engine back together? Wouldn't that be better?
Hold on,
like
hold
a
on.
really hot girl, skinny girl, nice breasts.
No, like a really hot chick
that knows it.
That is like with a top on, that doesn't have a bra, and it shows a little under boob.
Oh, like a sleeveless shirt.
Is that the hottest? To me, I'm telling you right now, man. The no bra, little crop top shirt with just a little under and or side boob, that really does it for me. Oh my God! Like Seth, what does it for you? A Web and Yon sign rookie?
Yeah, absolutely.
Click Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, what if Caitlin Clark came up to like a little bathing suit, because she's got a nice body.
I think she's cute.
I think, you know what? I think Caitlin Clark's cute.
Yeah.
I also think, oddly enough,
her athletic prowess makes her that more attractive.
How about
Right.
I think the Angel Reese chick's hot.
She is.
Yes. If you can get past the eyelashes.
If you could get past her mouth.
And her eyelashes.
Like, shut up, play ball, and blast me, bitch. In that order.
Scratch my back with your eyelashes.
But if you could get a couple
feather.
chicks do an engine assembly like in bikinis.
Yeah, that'd be good. It would do well. I think it would do well.
That would be hot. Mm-hmm. That would be so hot.
They did a funny skit on Saturday Night Live, and that was one of the Instagram things. Was this chick working on an engine?
Anyway, I'm gonna get a hold of Terry and ask him, like, the next time he's doing like an engine assembly, that he has me over and lets me help him.
Oh, that'd be
You would
awesome.
absolutely do that.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, next time he has a block torn down and he's getting ready to reassemble it, let me come in and show me, okay, this is where you put the assembly grease. This is how. I don't think Terry does I think Terry sends his machine work out.
He doesn't do the machining, but he would do the assembly and
He would
breakdown.
do the assembly.
Yeah, he has a machine.
He'd do
his
the
own.
breakdown,
Yeah.
but he'd do the assembly. But he would send the hone, the line hone, the boring.
Yeah, he don't have that set out. But Drew Park, you
the-
can get anything done. You can build a nuclear bomb in Drew Park.
and the resurfacing. Yeah. Let me. Was this? Is this a story that jumped into another story? Because I don't remember seeing. Oh yeah, this is the immigrant. Did you see that?
Yeah, beating him to death. What a douchebag.
I'm gonna cover this when I get back. I'm gonna. What in the hell?
Little porn music.
Fox just keeps firing him, Lummy.
Jeez, it's like CBS now.
I'm gonna try to stay. I'm gonna try to stay true to like my 30-minute.
Quiet on set, please. Oh, hold up. I think there's an issue with the prompter. It says during the Rooms to Go anniversary sale.
I keep hitting pause on this. I'm gonna try to stay true to my 30-minute talk sets, Lummy, because I'm. Do I sound bad? I feel bad. Do I sound bad? I guess if they say I sound like RFK, I do sound bad.
Lummy, how does he sound?
Sound like
Be
$1 million
honest.
bucks. Bubba, I can't tell a difference, Bubba. You look good, you sound good. You sound like
If the merch crick is listening, Dan, she was upstairs packing and shipping Alpha Volume 25s. Maybe I can get her to get me. Going on to Walgreens, get me some Afrin.
Afrin, yeah, that'll
Like
clear up
Afrin
yourself.
extra strength.
No,
Afrin.
just regular old Afrin.
No.
Maybe 12-hour Afrin.
What
12
if,
hour.
What if they
12
got?
hour.
What if they got
That's
extra
stronger.
strength?
12 hour is the extra strength. There's a regular one and the 12-hour one. Just get the regular 12-hour, the 12-hour one, but regular flavor.
I got honey and olive oil.
Good. You need to chug that.
I got that. So I just need some Afrin.
Mm-hmm.
So, Crick, if you're listening, can you go get me some Afrin?
12-hour Afrin.
12-hour Afrin.
Should he gargle with honey, or could you die like that?
No, you just swallow the honey. You can gargle with the
It's kind of
olive oil.
like swallowing a man's La Poeda.
I wouldn't even possibly know that, Bubba.
Well, neither would I. But
well, it seems like you drew that comparison pretty quickly.
You did.
But nothing, I know that you don't. I don't know that you don't drink that. I know it's just a joke, cuzzo. You've done a lot of weird things. You drink 409, but you wouldn't drink that. It's a real American.
Consistency. I've seen.
Oh boy.
I've seen that a lot as I've produced a lot of it.
Have you ever tasted your own quote saliva?
No. Have you?
Yeah, no. I'm just asking Bubba because you're a curious guy.
You brought that up pretty quick.
You're a curious guy. We were talking about that. We were talking about
copy
you
mop.
Yeah, but you're a doctor.
Copy mop.
Yeah, sample. It's part of my pre-op.
You've been still using.
How you taste, kid?
You've been still using your penis pump?
Yeah.
I broke mine out over the weekend.
Oh, did
Really?
you? Nice.
Yeah, I forgot how much I liked it.
It's good.
I've been lacking on the pumping.
You got to get it back.
So anyway, Merch Crick, if you could get me some 12-hour Afrin, and Dan, would a cough drop? Do cough drops really work? Or are they just like candy?
Some of them do. The Halls are probably most effective.
Give me the strong, real vapor Halls.
We have honey ones here in the fridge,
but they're not Halls.
Okay,
but they'll help you until you get the other ones. I mean, it's not like you can't overdose on cough drops.
You need a lozenge, Bubba. Okay, any flavored, suck it down.
If you want a deep dive into the Bubba the Love Sponge show from the past, go to BubbaArmyHQ.com. We'll be back after these words.
You're right. I just died.
All right. What's up over here?
Must have been something you said.
Oh, yeah.
Morning, 2006 Monty.
All right, I got my
Hill.
olive oil, and I got my
Holy yolk.
I should have walked away. I should have walked away.
Yeah, Merkin and Raza.
Bubba, do you want these lozenges?
Yes, let me out my
Mango
lozenges
Unchained.
immediately.
Love your name.
I need lemon menthol. Yum. Here you go, sir.
Well, you said you sound great, so you might not even need those.
Just to make them sound good.
Let me, where are they at?
Right, I left them right under your black calendar.
Thank you.
We got like another 5 in there.
What's up? Skybot.
Lummy,
Yes, sir. Need a spoon?
this honey is coagulated.
Oh, no.
So you might need to put it in the microwave for like, put it in there for like 15 seconds.
Okay.
Mommy's got to defrost your honey.
We're defrosting.
This is not part of the job description.
Now, Dan,
Yes.
Plastic.
Oh,
I got extra virgin olive oil, but it looks like it's coagulated.
Ew, gross.
Don't use it.
Shake it. If it fixes itself, it's okay. If it doesn't, then get rid of it. That's disgusting. Coagulated olive oil. Danny G. Xerxes. Dan. Creatine. What's up, buddy? Good morning.
This doesn't look too good.
Chop it up.
Man.
Caviar.
Flonase
Look.
tastes nasty.
What's up, God? Grouper lips.
Dude,
Slayer.
you got to drink it.
Hippie.
I don't think olive oil expires, does it?
Yeah, everything expires at some point. I mean, olive oil gets gross, it gets quiet. It's like honey. You know what I mean? Honey doesn't expire until it looks white.
Is he drinking again?
Yeah, he's drinking. Vinegar doesn't expire, does it?
Yeah, but this is...
Vinegar? I imagine it does eventually, but I mean, there's
Can't
expiration dates on it, but it's probably a long
You
time.
can buy that real expensive like vinegar
TNT.
at like Mazzaro's and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That they say it's like aged since 1983 or something.
That's super...
Well, you know, wine can last 80 years in a bottle. You know, if it's properly stored. I used to get wine that was like from 1985 at Burns.
Hamill got me a bottle of Dom Perignon from 1966, my birthday year.
Jesus. Did you drink it?
No, it's still, I got it still. Think it's worth something?
I don't know. Maybe.
Babyface got me a bottle of Barefoot.
That's good stuff. $9.99 special. Yes.
Just fucking hummy.
Is it always in slow mode? Can we undo slow mode? On. I guess.
Fucking A.
Good shit.
Never trust a fart. I like Ricola.
Ricola hasn't done any advertising since that commercial, but it's still stuck.
I know, it's one of the best commercials ever. If it wants to stick like that. What was in that store? That furniture store? They used to play the ad on it. Red Top, was it Red Top? Or Red House? Red House?
This fucking honey's fucked.
Anyway, fucked. What's the problem here? Can I see it? Well, can I see it? Ew, no, that's not the kind of honey you want. That's like honey residue shit, dude.
Honey residue?
Dude, that's like fucking. That's like grains of shit. That's a lot. Stop.
Oh, he's eating it off his finger.
It's like peanut butter. That's the last thing you need.
Oh, no.
No honey.
Is it honey gone bad, or is it like a different...
Honey dried out, coagulated.
I think it's honey that stayed in the refrigerator too long.
You don't put honey in the fridge.
I did.
Oh, shit. Oh, do you need me to go get some more honey?
Text the merch crick and tell her to get me some extra.
Broadcasting live from the Aquabito Studios. Aquabito.com/Bubba. It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
Lummy, take this WD-40.
So you're gonna do to lubricate your throat? A little WD-40?
Yeah.
That'll work.
When you, because I want you to check out the goat shears.
Okay.
So we don't have any problems with them.
So Bubba, I just found you $2,500.
You just tell me what?
$2,500.
How?
Ghost of Profiles Past says a 1966 Dom goes for $2,500.
Really?
Yeah, if you want to sell on eBay or something like that, maybe Seth can help you.
Nah, I mean, no.
You're gonna have to give him 10%, but I know.
No, I mean, it's, you know,
I'm just.
they take 13. I'll take another. You know.
I mean, I was doing like a honey and olive oil regimen for a little bit to help my voice. About 6-7 months ago, and I forgot, and I left it in the refrigerator. And my honey and my extra virgin olive oil both have coagulated.
They're like sand. It's like mud.
And I went to eat it with my finger. Now my finger's all sticky.
Ew.
And
Dr. Dan's really a proponent of doing a lot, but he really put a stop when he saw you sucking down that pretty much solid honey.
It was solid. It was like hive.
So yeah, it looked like something they'd scrape right from the queen bee's hive.
Right, it looked like the wax part.
So Lummy, did you tell Merch Crick to add those two things?
Yes,
if she could. Migrant arrested on Florida roadside by federal and local law enforcement. A young father allegedly in the U.S. illegally. Well, just remember again. Let's remember that.
Doesn't that look sympathetic? That first sentence. I mean, look at we all talk about bias, and if you look at the first sentence, it's a young father allegedly. You know what I'm saying? It's just sort of like trying to get sympathetic.
It's like if it was like some white trash from Pinellas Park, it would be Joe Blow. And it wouldn't killed his family.
Yeah.
It would never. They wouldn't even give you the benefit of the alleged deal. On this one, it's like it's some junior writer that's trying to lawyer herself up and use the word allegedly.
Yeah, it should be illegal alien chokes his kid to death.
I mean, either you've killed your kid or you haven't.
Right.
And if the cops are there and they're leading you out in handcuffs, one would assume that they're arresting you on murdering your child.
Mm-hmm.
Here, this is now is this let me
St. Johns County.
It's like near Jacksonville.
Yeah, it's up. Yeah.
How many sets are they putting on this guy?
I like the pink handcuffs.
Were those pink?
They look pink.
Yeah, she had pink.
Yeah.
If I was getting arrested, I'd be like, man, do I got to wear your pink handcuffs?
Yeah, add insult to injury.
Come on, man.
Shame.
All right, so this just looks like this is the scumbag who did it.
He looks little, doesn't he?
He looks teeny tiny.
Look, compared to the policeman, he looks like he's a foot shorter.
He was such a pussy that he's such a pussy that the only people he can beat up are 2-year-olds.
He's smaller than that woman.
It was a 2-month-old.
2-month-old, yeah.
2 months, man.
Who harms even the worst of drug dealers? Don't harm kids.
He said he didn't think it was his kid.
It doesn't even matter.
Doesn't even matter.
I know, that's his excuse.
I know. Yeah. So,
That's his
sorry.
excuse.
I thought Lummy was his attorney.
When I was traveling to see Tim Pool going to Washington, D.C., there was this little infant behind me, probably 3-4 months old, and it was teething or whatever, and it was just screaming its heads off. And I was like, oh, God, I just wish that kid would shut up. But never in my mind did I said, oh, God, I just want to kill this kid.
Well, you can
shake him to death.
No.
You can say that in your mind, I think. You can say, I want to, I think you
But I did it.
No, I know, but I'm saying it was one thing to think, and there's another thing to carry it out. And look at this guy. He looks unfazed by it, which means he's a true psychopath.
Which means, well, he doesn't even know where he's at.
Oh, he knows he's in Americana.
Yeah.
He knows it's the Gulf of America.
Yeah, it looks like he did it in New York and fled to Florida.
Yeah.
Of course.
He looks amazingly calm, though, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, he didn't know what's ahead of him.
Well, I mean, I don't think New York has a death penalty, so he's just going to be a ward of the state for the next 40 years.
Hopefully we can send him back. Now,
Why can't we just kill him and then send him back?
So what happens to a guy like this? A young father allegedly in the U.S. illegally is in custody and accused of beating his 2-month-old daughter to death. Marion Rabanales was arrested Wednesday and charged with second-degree murder in the death of his infant daughter. According to detectives, officers responded to an Inwood home for a report of a choking 2-month-old girl. The victim was transported to the hospital and later transferred to a different hospital where she had died. Migrant gang member suspected of murder and sexually. Now, so this guy.
That's another teaser for another story.
This is another one?
Yeah.
Well, I don't. Oh, that's another one?
Mm-hmm. You're not allowed to talk about these migrants committing violent felonies.
Why not?
Because it's
Officials say said an investigation revealed that the infant was the victim of an assault that caused her death, with various abrasions and broken bones. During a press conference, Nassau County Police Detective said that the migrant, the illegal immigrant, admitted to abusing the baby. He admitted to us as to what happened with the baby. How he abused it physically, how he felt the child wasn't his, how he did not respect or want children. He hit the child several times around the head and face. Then he threw the child down to the ground.
So, Bubba, what part of this article is allegedly? The asshole admitted it. There's an illegal alien that choked, murdered, and beat his own 2-month-old daughter. That should be the freaking headline. Not some migrant, allegedly father, sympathetic. These guys should all be ripped apart publicly. They should be drawn and quartered in the public square to make an example to any other asshole that abuses a child will get the same freaking punishment. Rip you apart and put your limbs on the 4 corners of the country.
So...
I'm sorry.
So it looks like what could happen to him, Bubba. This depends.
So this is
on
what I don't understand. When somebody like this who isn't from our country,
right,
and we obviously don't want in our country, and he came in our country illegally, and he's here illegally, and he does something, one of the most illegal things that you can do, which is kill a baby.
So it's awful.
do we at this point now have to incarcerate this guy for the rest of his life?
Well, that's what I was saying.
Or do we send him to where he came from? And here's the deal. What's our assurance that El Salvador or wherever he comes from is going to make him pay for his crimes?
So what the rule is and what they're doing is he's from Guatemala, but they would send him to El Salvador prison where he would be detained under whatever they decide his sentence is, and he would serve it in the El Salvador jail. Problem is, New York is not really helping out ICE. So he could be processed here in the United States, but not given over to ICE. So then New York would have to house him for however long he's sentenced.
He should go to the same prison that Dahmer went to.
Where they shoved the broomstick up his wazoo?
Exactly. He deserves prison justice.
Well,
and I'm not a big fan of prison justice, but this guy who admitted it, he admitted to beating and choking his own daughter. He should be ripped apart publicly.
Well, you've seen the El Salvador prisons.
Yeah, they're not nice.
Yeah,
but he deserves worse than that.
They're the worst in the world.
He deserves worse than that. Do you think he should get free life?
No.
And free food? And free entertainment?
I would kill this guy tomorrow.
You think it's better to keep him here?
As he came in, catch and release took his information and led him into America.
Right. Thanks, Joe.
A spokesperson says the individual will answer to his crimes here in Nassau County after he's done with his sentencing. Then there will be a determination on deportation or being here. There will be an immediate detainer put on him once he walks into Nassau County Jail, so that he'll never be released from our jails. Well, that's refreshing. That's only because we have somebody else doing it differently now. Because they used to sometimes they'd let you go. How about the guy who killed the girl in Georgia?
Yeah.
Wasn't he let go formerly from New York? In that really high-profile one?
Who, Lincoln Riley?
Yeah, Lincoln Riley.
Yeah, I think he was in New York. Yeah, and he came down to Georgia after he was released twice.
Right, he was from New York, Lincoln Riley deal, and then he came down to Georgia and killed the Lincoln Riley girl.
Yeah,
and this guy was a 2-time detainee in New York. So, like, I like the Guantanamo Bay deal because here's what it does: is one, it's not in our country. It's not. It's in Cuba. But it's a little sliver of Cuba that Cuba allows us to have. And
that's because we gave Cuba.
I understand. But okay, that's fine. We got
all we got out of it was a little sliver of land.
That's okay. We don't want Cuba. We don't want Cuba, trust me. We'll take Guantanamo Bay, but you take them down to Guantanamo Bay, and then listen, how much information do you ever really get out of Guantanamo Bay? Nothing. They don't tell you.
It's a black hole.
Right. So at that point, Dan, you kill the guy.
Right.
You just.
Well, I mean,
you just do, because if you send them to Guatemala and they send them to El Salvador, there's a chance. I mean, El Chapo, didn't he slip away? I don't know how many different times.
Oh, there's no one escaping from this El Salvador prison though. They're always on watch.
But here's the deal, Dan. I mean, if you can guarantee that he's going to the El Salvadorian prison, which I think at the end of the day, the reason why you can guarantee he's going to go there is because we just cut a deal with them, and we're paying them like $40,000 a year per prisoner. So they're in it for the money.
Oh, of course.
So yeah, but we could have him we could take him down to Guantanamo Bay and kill him for free.
Let's do it.
Yeah, nobody would notice if he was missing from the face of the earth.
Yeah, that's what Bubba's point is. Yeah, that no one would notice him missing.
That's why just end it now.
Like,
I mean,
like one day, Seth, like 2 weeks from now, I'm not going to be like, hey, remember that kid who beat his kid?
Yeah.
I wonder what he's doing right now.
No, but that's why we should just end it now and just cut all formalities.
Right.
But at least you send him to Guantanamo because nobody really knows anything.
Yeah, What happens at Guantanamo
stays on
That's
Guantanamo.
right.
Yeah, dump his body after we chop it up in the water.
Yeah.
Let the fish eat it.
There's a lot of fish down there in Cuba too.
Oh,
They
you
got
can
good
chum
fishing.
up. You can chum up with the best of them.
Fish eat bodies?
Yeah,
Oh,
sharks.
yeah.
Yeah, bodies.
They eat anything.
Oh, wow.
If you dump a body deep enough, it'll come back with nothing.
Yeah, some crabs will eat it.
Yeah, eventually.
I think I think the best place if you're gonna really is you put a body in a wild pig farm because pigs even eat the bones, supposedly.
Even better that we can have a pig farm on Cuba then.
It's a hell of a tip right here.
Yeah.
Or you just like tie him to a rock in a pig farm. Let the pigs just choose when to eat them.
Wow.
I think I got this story yesterday, and this is I think outside of Milwaukee. I think.
Yes, it is.
Yes. Parents lose it at Crisco. So Dan, you have 2 kids, Sophia and Danny. I don't know if they're both in high school yet. Danny's he'll be there.
He's in middle school. He's in 7th.
Okay, so he'll be there soon. She's there already.
Junior.
And so you can picture having high school kids.
Yes.
Jay's got them.
Yep.
You got them. Mm-hmm. Parents lose it at Crisco Ray High School in Milwaukee after a hidden camera was allegedly found in the girls' locker room. Former security coordinator Fernando Bustos was criminally charged after allegedly being caught with over 400 videos of girls changing. Jeez. Parents are lashing out at school administrators, demanding answers for why it took weeks after police were called for them to find out what was going on. Well, I mean, they probably had to really button up their case, right? I mean, you don't get this information, and then the next day,
isn't case closed once you find the camera?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
and his fingerprints on it.
Yeah, but I mean, you find the camera on Monday, you just can't release it on Tuesday. We got an employee that has shot 400 videos of chicks changing. You gotta, Dan. It's like when the 3 brothers meet and you guys all put your cell phones in the freezer. You can't make a rash decision on this deal.
Well, but there's 2 points to this. I think that as soon as they found out, as long as they immediately stopped it.
Yeah, no, they did.
Okay, but then going public with it a couple weeks later, I don't have a problem with that.
Parents are lashing out at school administrators, demanding answers for why it took so long after police were called. Police were initially called on February 19th, but parents say they didn't find out till weeks later. Bustos pleaded not guilty today to allegations that he produced hundreds of videos of hidden cameras at the Jesuit high school.
Oh, Jesus.
The guy is a former police officer, and he resigned as a police officer in 2020.
Now, why do you think he resigned? Who resigns as a police officer?
You don't think it was just to do this, do you?
No, he
probably did something sketchy there.
Right. Hold on here.
Forced resignation.
Now these are.
What are they doing?
I don't know. I don't know if it looks like this was a pep rally, or this was a teacher.
I think this was for the parents.
Like a parent meeting. But
parent conference.
And it was probably so many parents were so concerned about it that they had to have it in the gym. Maybe they could have had it in the auditorium, but because there were so many people, they had to have it in the gym. Now, how violated would you feel if your daughter was one of those 400 videos and he had, got her changing it at various states or completely nude or in her bra and panties or whatever he got, any part of it, just her being in a private locker room setting and changing is way much of a violation. I would be beside myself.
I would be beside myself, but it would be nothing compared to the anger I would feel if someone actually laid a finger on her. I mean, videotaping on girls is horrible and it's bad, and the guy should be in a lot of trouble. And obviously, the people that were victims of that, feel violated. But it's still a far cry from someone, actually touching somebody.
So, I'm sure that the school had to get all the evidence, unfortunately, watch it, or with counsel.
Do you think the school really had to watch it all, or just the police watched it? I mean, the school just had to, notify the police and do their due diligence.
I got to think that there was. I got to think that somebody from the school corporation, whether it's the superintendent, whether it's the head of security, whether it's the principal, I'm sure that somebody within the school system had to watch it. With authorities,
right? With the police,
right. And then I'm sure that they had to
They probably had to identify some of the victims.
That's what I'm saying. And then they had the painstaking process of saying, "Oh, all right, well that's Sophia Diaco, and that's Sammy." Wow. And then at that point, can figure out. How do we contact the parents, and what do we say?
It's tough, man. So Seth, so you get the call from the principal that someone videotaped your daughter changing in the gym locker room. What are you going to do? I want to hear what this.
I mean, what?
Oh my God, I would be beside myself.
What am I going to say? I'm going to go kick the guy's ass. I mean, I don't think that's possible at all.
No, I don't think that's an option either. I mean, if you want, you can't.
I would definitely remove her from the school.
Now, Dan, and I can't
probably
think,
school in general.
And I don't think that you
just homeschool her at that point.
I couldn't send her. I couldn't send her back out into the school system.
But
after
Dan,
that.
Doesn't there also come with that a certain amount of what they call municipality immunity? Where
it depends if it's a public or private school. If it's a private Jesuit school, then arguably it's a wide open wallet. I would. If I was a victim, I'd want it to be a private school that with a ton of money behind it than the public schools, because yes, the public schools do have the immunity, and they have caps at $250. But every kid should get $250. You know what I mean? Every kid that was violated should get the maximum amount here. Because 400 videos isn't 400 victims. It's probably not 400 girls in that school. So it's probably the same 50 girls that are athletes.
Do you think this is to sell footage, or do you think this is just to this is
perversion, man? This is a pure perversion.
Looks like he resigned as a police officer. He was on the Brady list and accused of crimes and dishonest conduct.
What's the Brady list?
It says Milwaukee's County Brady list, which is for officers accused of crimes and dishonest conduct.
So he's a sketchy guy from the beginning.
He's sketch.
Yeah.
But Dan's right, man. You're hoping that Jesuit is like the Jesuit here, which is like $32,000 a year to put your kid in there.
Yeah, there's money behind that school.
I mean, they probably have a huge endowment, right?
Mm-hmm. But
if it's Largo High, you're screwed.
Right. Yeah.
You're listening to the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
If you want 24/7 on-demand Bubba and the crew, go to BubbaArmyHQ.com. The Bubba the Love Sponge Show will be back after this.
My refund for the year.
Yeah. Plus damages. If
Not much but
what is it?
Merch Creek. Wide.
Any Afrin?
A Merch Creek concoction?
No.
Stephen Coco, I believe in that. Jay Fish, I agree with that too. And James Gerald Edgar Jr., I agree with that too. I got a present for you, motherfucker. I like time to do a tree in the Everglades in the summer.
Still where one of those snakes are.
I had no idea that the new Howard Franklin was open today.
Yeah. Did you take it?
No.
You take it way home.
Yeah, it's south.
Well, why do I don't know how it works. Because I could just take the regular 275 home. Where's that other one start?
What do you mean? It takes over the southbound lane.
So like when I come home today, they're going to be connected?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to be on the new bridge on the way home.
And on the way here is the old southbound bridge.
I don't like testing out bridges, man.
Well, look, there's the traffic going for the new one.
It's a pretty big one too, Seth. It's really wide, so you don't have to look over the edges.
No, I've trust me. I've been having my eye on it for a while. Remember the Selman fell apart when they first built it?
Yeah, it was sinking in the ground.
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of.
That's because they had Canadians building it, though. It was a Canadian company. They sued him. Steven sued him. Steven got the money for it. He was charged the expressway for about 5 years. He ran it. They were in debt and about to be taken over by the state. I mean, he left. They had a surplus of money, and we're still dependent. They had bad management. Bad contracts.
That's terrible.
Who's the first one that totally paperless tolls too? You know what I mean? The electric tolling
Yeah.
place. Who's the first street in the world who did that?
Really? I mean, we got new trash today.
Not a problem. I'll come get yours. This one's empty. Seth, do you have trash can?
Trash?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have any trash over here. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
You know, I got nothing. I got some.
Alright, I'll come get it.
I can. We can just do it after the show. I mean.
Okay.
What if we were just a strictly local show? What bit would we be doing with the new bridge opening today? Stopping on the top of it and handing out fucking bumper stickers.
That's right.
Have a merch crick in a bikini with a Bubba Army van
on it. Like parked.
Yeah,
on
there's a trail. There's like a bike trail.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
really?
there's a bike trail and an express lane. And I think the express lane's not open yet, but the bike trail is.
Send me a story from it, okay?
All right.
But they're knocking down the old one, and I don't know why they're knocking down the old one. Why couldn't they make that a recreational bridge?
Like they did before. Remember the old one before? I used to ride my bike over it.
They should. I mean, they're gonna. 2026 is when they're supposed to
knock it down next year.
I didn't know they were knocking it
Well,
down.
I need to talk about that.
That was gonna be like a super highway, like Rainbow Road.
Make that the Autobahn where you can go as fast as you can.
Yeah, you think they keep it, especially for against hurricanes?
I'm taking Gandy today. I'm not. I don't trust it. I'm gonna give it a month.
Let me just send me that story for Howard Frank.
Yeah.
Oh, Seth, also, when Steve was in charge of the expressway, he wouldn't allow the police to set up speed traps on it.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That man of the people.
Now they do.
All over. 0110111.
Yeah, I got a thank you card, Bubba.
I'll have you open it.
Okay.
Broadcasting live from the Aquabedo studios.
Aquabedo.com/Bubba.
It's the Bubba the Love Sponge show.
It's saying it's up there now.
What?
Watch it saying it's up there now.
Facebook's up there now?
Yeah, you might have to refresh.
Let's try my eye. Refresh. So sick.
Did the oil help?
No, because it's old.
He still haven't gotten the new stuff yet. He's still on the old stuff.
Merch Crick, I don't know if she has time to get me.
You want me to feed you some honey?
No, like this.
She got you the honey bear.
Baby bird.
Just suck some of it down.
I'll just leave. I mean, I don't know.
Dude, put some honey now.
I just did, and it's old. It's coagulated.
Oh, I thought it was the stuff we saw before. Or she got new stuff that's still coagulated.
No, yes.
Oh God.
The new stuff's still coagulated.
We had some in the cabinet here.
So I keep refreshing our Facebook, although the cough drops seem to help a little bit.
Oh, good. We have like 6 more packs of that.
Okay, perfect. Now see if you can see, Lummy, I'm on here, right?
Yes.
And as I refreshing Facebook, Facebook, and see it's not going live. So
yeah, Macho's send me the link.
He sent you the link?
No, I'm asking him to send me the link so I can send it to you.
Well,
because he's staring at it.
Why should a link work and the page not?
I think I might be on the wrong Facebook. I think I'm on as you.
Oh, you're on the Bubba Clem.
Yes.
You need to go on the Bubba the Love Sponge.
Let me work on that.
Okay. Let me know when you got it, okay? Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Did you see where that former U.S. attorney was found dead? There's some shady stuff going on, man.
Was she former or was she current?
I thought she was just a U.S. attorney.
I thought she was in charge of the whole office.
She was.
Yeah, it said former.
Oh, yeah, I thought it said former. 43.
Police are investigating after former U.S. attorney for Eastern.
Former.
Police are investigating after former U.S. attorney for Eastern.
Now, a U.S. attorney, Dan will tell you.
Powerful.
That's a very, very powerful position.
Yep.
That's below the power of a federal judge. In fact, they are the prosecuting arm of the federal judge.
Exactly. They're the ones that decide whether or not to prosecute you with federal charges,
right,
and also how hard to prosecute you.
Right. Right.
So the way it would work was like the state attorney of Tampa works with like Tampa police and the Hillsborough County sheriff, and they come up with, they investigate. Then the state attorney of Tampa would decide whether or not to bring charges and which charges to bring.
Like for instance, like say something happened here.
Right.
We're in the city of Tampa city limits, so we would call Kenneth Kimberlin.
Right. The death threats.
When we call the city of Tampa Police Department, they show up. They do the initial investigation. Then they refer that investigation to the state attorney.
Correct.
And then the state attorney takes it over from there as to whether they're going to prosecute or not.
Correct. That's exactly the way it works.
Or
they could do a grand jury and indict him through a grand jury, or the prosecutor could do what's called an information and start the process that way.
But I'm asking you this: at what point does the state attorney remove themselves and let a grand jury? Do the more high profile ones they tend to maybe use a grand jury to kind of give them some insulation? I think
if there's any kind of controversy, if it's not clear cut, and I think also if it's a real significant crime, they want to get that grand jury indictment behind it. But I don't know that it really matters one way or the other. You still are facing charges. You still have to go through the trial process.
Now, if the grand jury says no, can the state attorney still say yes?
Arguably, yes.
Okay.
It would be an information instead of an indictment.
But usually, when a grand jury says no, then you're good.
Yeah. If a grand jury looks at the information, they're like, dude.
So anyway, I just want to let you know. Oh, Jay's here? Oh, no, I thought you said
there's no case here.
Oh. So the bottom line is, man, U.S. attorneys are,
right, and in that process, the FBI would do the investigation, and then they would send the referral to the to the U.S. attorney, and they would decide whether or not and how hard to prosecute.
Our Facebook situation has been remedied.
Yes, it's been fixed.
Thank you so much, Macho Man. I got to make sure the volume's turned down. They're perfect. So This woman was found dead, and she's a U.S. attorney. And she may be a newly appointed one because when the new president comes in, now a new president cannot replace a federal judge, but he can name a federal judge on those that are retiring.
She was appointed by Biden. She was from 2021 to 2025.
Oh, okay.
And stepped down January 20th.
Was found dead. Authorities discovered 43-year-old Jessica Aber in her Alexandria home yesterday morning. Aber has appeared on Fox 5 on the Hill before. She was nominated to the U.S. Attorney role in 2021 by former President Joe Biden. Aber resigned from the high-profile role just before President Trump was sworn in January.
See, and so with new presidents come all new federal attorneys.
So they can't replace all the judges, although they can nominate new ones, but they can replace all the U.S. attorneys.
Yeah. So when you're a federal judge, you're appointed for life. And when a new president comes in, doesn't matter. You're good. Unless it's time for you to retire, and that's upon your own doing. Like, there's not even a term limit or anybody can tell you when to retire. It's whenever you want to.
Or die.
So a lot of times there's a whole big gamesmanship. Well, didn't the Democrats kind of get caught with their pants down in the Supreme Court when Ginsburg thought that Hillary was going to win and she didn't resign? When
she was so narcissistic.
Barack Obama could have put a new Democrat on the Supreme Court. Ginsburg thought Hillary was going to win, so she held on for a few more years. Trump won. She dies, and Trump gets. So it's a whole big gamesmanship.
Yeah,
it really was. A lot of Democrats really hold Ginsburg accountable for that. As to why
she was selfish.
Supreme Court is what is it, 6-3
now? But I mean, Roberts is
what's
pretty.
Roberts being a dick for?
It's not about him being a dick. It's just he's not a red-toting MAGA conservative. Although he was a Bush
Trump
conservative.
Put him in, didn't he?
Huh?
Did Bush put him in?
Bush put him in.
Oh, Bush put him in.
But now Trump put in the the woman with the pretty what's her name?
That's Sotomayor?
No, not Sotomayor. Not Kagan. It was the oh my God, I can't believe I'm drawing a blank on her.
Oh, girl.
Anyway, so she has ruled against the Trump administration several times on some key cases.
Tamara is reacting to Aber's death overnight, posting online about her public service, sending the state's thoughts and prayers to her family. Eric Siebert, the current U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia, also releasing a statement describing Aber as an unmatched leader, mentor, and prosecutor, and irreplaceable human being.
All right, so
how did she die? I don't know. I hope it was natural and there was nothing,
Yeah, I mean, I hope that
nothing illegal about it.
Antifa didn't do it or nothing.
Working with every agency sitting here at this table.
This woman is so tough. I love Pam Bondi. She's got bigger testicles than anyone in this world except Trump.
Former,
President. As far as we are hearing a lot about fraud, waste, and abuse, a lot of waste and abuse, but there is a tremendous amount of fraud. And Elon, thank you for your partnership. Thank you for your team.
Sorry about your dealerships.
You have uncovered so much fraud in our government, and we will prosecute you. We have an internal task force now working with every agency sitting here at this table. And if you've committed fraud, we're coming after you. Thank you, Elon, for that. On the violent crime level, thanks to President Trump's directive, we are seeking the death penalty again. So all of these horrible, violent criminals that you're hearing about around the country, they will face the death penalty federally within our country. And the drug dealers need to get out of here because we are coming after you. We're going to have 94 great U.S. attorneys around this country, and everyone will be prosecuted.
See, there's only 94 of them. That woman who died, she's only one of 94.
It's a small group, man.
That's more prestigious than a U.S. senator because there's 100 of those, right?
Executed to the fullest extent of the law.
Thank you.
Thank you, President. It's at your directive.
I couldn't have said that better. That's very good.
I couldn't have said it better because I wrote it myself. Now, are you seeing now that supposedly some national security guy, some admiral or something, sent like a text to a journalist that outlined us bombing Yemen. Did you see that?
Yes, and
is it true?
Well, Pete Hegseth said absolutely not. But then there's also the argument that the staff of these people were communicating with each other. But this is kind of like that Ukraine phone call where it's really nothing. It's a really whodunit over nothing. A theoretical plan is so irrelevant in the world. It's not like we, gave away our nuclear secrets, or outed, spies in another country. We're talking about some arguments and options on how to deal with something in Yemen, which we're not even about to invade.
It's
irrelevant.
At the end of the day, none of this has happened. Correct?
No, or happening. It's like, oh my God, Diaco disclosed our invasion plans for Guatemala. We ain't invading Guatemala, and we ain't bombing Yemen right now.
I thought they did it already. I thought that the plan leaked out after they did it. Because I feel like I pulled a clip of Trump talking about the fact that the leak didn't really matter.
Because after the fact?
Yeah, because he said they did a good job. He said they did a good job with the strike.
And so we're glad to be here. It's a beautiful day. Had a full work day on the plane. Now we got a full work day here as well, and looking forward to it. One question.
Can you share how your information about war plans against the Houthis in Yemen was shared with a journalist in The Atlantic? And were those details classified?
You're talking about a deceitful and highly discredited so-called journalist who's made a profession of peddling hoaxes time and time again, to include the hoaxes of Russia, or the fine people on both sides hoax, or suckers and losers hoax. So this is the guy that peddles in garbage. This is what he does. I would love to comment on the Houthi campaign because of the skill and courage of our troops. I've monitored it very closely from the...
Now, who's this guy?
He's in charge.
Secretary of Defense.
Of the Defense Department.
All right, so...
Hegseth.
So he definitely, this definitely, would be what he'd be talking about, right? I mean,
Let's come. I think the message came from him.
Beginning, and you see, we've been managing 4 years of deferred maintenance under the Trump administration. Our troops, our sailors were getting shot at as targets. Our ships couldn't sail through. And when they did shoot back, it was purely defensively or at shacks in Yemen. President Trump said, no more. We will reestablish deterrence, we will open freedom of navigation, and we will ultimately decimate the Houthis, which is exactly what we're doing as we speak from the beginning, overwhelmingly.
Why were those details shared on
the Houthis? The stinking ass Houthis.
That's right, get rid of them.
Those Houthis want to roll up on our ships, we're going to blast them.
Signal, and how did you learn that a journalist was privy to the targets, the types of weapons used?
I've heard I was characterized. Nobody was texting war plans, and that's all I have to say about that. Thank you. Appreciate it.
I am to Trump talking about it if you needed it.
Oh, you did? Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. I did need a backup on the deal. Thank you. Let me see where it's at right here. Here it is. Just want to let you know
your reaction to
Do you want to know why more and more people are switching to freeway? It's simple. 1, low prices. 2, tickets, accidents.
You got to be an IT specialist to run this deal around here. Seth, when you run the show, do you notice how your technical skills have to be sharp?
Only if I did sound effects.
Oh, okay.
Your reaction to the story in The Atlantic that said that some of your top cabinet officials and aides had been discussing very sensitive material through Signal and included an Atlantic reporter for that. What is your response to that?
I don't know anything about it. I'm not a big fan of The Atlantic. To me, it's a magazine that's going out of business. I think it's not much of a magazine, but I know nothing about it. You're saying that they had what?
They were using Signal to coordinate on sensitive materials and
having to do with what? Having to do with what? What were they talking about?
With the Houthis.
The Houthis? You mean the attack on the Houthis? Right. Well, it couldn't have been very effective because the attack was very effective. I can tell you that. I don't know anything about it. You're telling me about it for the first time. Anybody else?
Your reaction to
I have no problem with the president that's gotten a hold of his Secretary of Defense and says, when we roll through Yemen, navigationally with ships and various things. If these Houthis, which is what I think they're like they're almost the guerrilla part of their place. I mean,
they're pirates.
Isn't the Houthis?
I think the pirates are Houthis.
That's what I'm saying.
I think the pirates were Houthis.
That's what I'm saying. The Houthis are not the recognized Yemen military.
No.
The Houthis are these
a terrorist group,
right? And they would roll up on these ships, these cargo ships that now have had to hire off-duty military operation guys with full-blown machine guns because they would take these crappy-ass little bass boats and literally,
firebomb them pretty much.
Firebomb these big tankers and take over these cargo ship, these Houthis. And so I don't have a problem with my president talking to his Secretary of Defense post or pre-Houthi attack about saying, hey, if these guys are going to get squirrely and start screwing with American ships through, navigational waters and things, let's blast them. Blast the hell out of them. Here's the game plan I'd like to do. I don't have a problem with any of that. I don't think anybody does. I don't think there's a political affiliation that even really matters about what president said. It takes an aggressive stance on Houthis.
I don't think that's the problem, Bubba. I think the problem is that people are outraged that they may have been communicating about it amongst each other through an unsecured line. That's the issue. And so, I mean, it's an issue that has happened for the last 20 years when we hear about,
there's all kinds of leaks.
No, it's not just leaks. It's people using non-secured communication devices to communicate. It happened with Hillary. It happened with Obama. It happened with Trump the first time. It happened with Bush. It happens with all of them because they for some reason cannot understand that there is a rule that you're supposed to stay on secured government communication devices. And for some reason, every administration just ignores that rule. And it is wrong. If they're supposed to be private and secured, they should be private and secured.
But if any of all stories to get leaked that we're going to screw with the Houthis, who
cares? No, I agree. I agree, Bubba. Who cares?
I mean, if it was like, hey, listen.
Some people think it's a clown show that those plans came out either way, that it's a breach of security.
Exactly.
And that Hegseth, put the wrong number on the chain of communication or whomever was running it.
Yeah, someone made a mistake.
So it's more of a you're kind of clowning on the guy who's running the department rather than the action in itself.
Yeah, like I sent you the CNN story if you want to see.
Cheap Charlie 215, $20.
People who are concerned about it.
Yeah, I mean, Trump's not concerned about it, but these CNN certainly is. Let me see here.
Across the national security space right now, because here you have a reporter who was included in the deliberations over one of the biggest national security events this year, the bombing of the Houthis that started on March 15th. And Jeffrey Goldberg, the editor-in-chief of The Atlantic, was privy to the details days ahead of time. What happened is that it appears that
I didn't know the bombing of the Houthis was that big of a deal. Didn't any of us? This guy is saying it's one of our biggest national security threats.
It's not, but we got to deal with like the Middle East.
I got
CNN.
CNN.
Russia,
CNN has to CNN it, right? They got to CNN it up.
that Mike Waltz, the national security advisor, added him to a group conversation on Signal, this encrypted app. So presumably these other officials felt like what they were saying was safe. Why he was added, we still don't know. That is the first of a long list of questions. But others on this group chain included the CIA director, the secretaries of defense, of state, the director of national intelligence, and the list goes on. So in the days ahead of this bombing of Yemen, there are these conversations about whether it should happen. J.D. Vance, the vice president, actually pushed back, saying it ran counter to other positions that the president had taken on Europe. But he deferred to the others, and they decided to go ahead with this bombing of the Houthis, which started, this latest campaign started.
Was it successful?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, then. A couple people knew about it.
Well,
a couple things got leaked.
Well, I mean, if you find a broken fire alarm it's okay if there's no fire. But if there's a fire and you find a broken fire alarm, that's a big problem. And so what they're saying is, and I understand this, if this is the methods that they are using and it's that easy to have someone unauthorized intercept these messages, then they need to change how they're exchanging information.
And
right?
thank God,
is that how you look at this?
And thank God, this is something. This is just some stupid hooky deal.
Right. It's a good warning. It's a good warning.
It's a good warning to button up your stuff, because when we got the more important stuff, like how we're going to blow Hamas to the smithereens
or bomb Moscow, you don't want that leaking out.
Yeah, you might want to
Going
check
on for
who you're
quite some
sending
time.
it to.
On March 15th, 2 hours.
They'll think Trump ain't pissed right now. Trump's pissed at that dude who leaked the Houthi gimmick.
Before the first bombs dropped,
Hexa.
an update was sent by Pete Hexa, the Secretary of Defense, to the others, in which it had stunning detail about.
This is a story back. This shows some additional information about the U.S. attorney that was dead.
Now to the investigation into the death of a former federal prosecutor in Virginia. Police responded to reports of an unresponsive woman and found...
Think Soros got her?
I don't know.
43-year-old Jessica Aber at a home in Alexandria, Virginia.
George Soros now owns the second largest radio company in the world.
Mm-hmm. Oh. But no one worries about that.
Mm-mm. He's trying to buy another one.
Because Elon Musk owns and runs the internet, but George Soros does not own and run the radio.
Virginia. She served as U.S. attorney for most of the Biden administration and then resigned the day President Trump took office. More now from ABC's Alex Perche.
Tonight, an investigation
to
the tragic and unexpected death of a former U.S. attorney.
Let me think she took 4 Benadryls with 3 swigs of NyQuil.
She couldn't handle it.
Any additional units to assist fire for the cardiac arrest. Female found in bed.
Heart attack. Is that what a cardiac arrest is, Dan?
Cardiac arrest.
Unresponsive, not breathing.
43-year-old Jessica.
By the way, I'm on cough drops right now if I sound a little slurred.
Aber was found unresponsive inside her home by Alexandria.
Man, what a little ass home.
It's not a little ass home. It's a pretty house.
It's in Virginia, too.
It's in the wintertime, too, Bubba. I mean, this is, it looks beautiful right now.
For the U.S. attorney, man, I'm a big ass house.
They'll make that much
Police
money.
Saturday morning. Sources tell ABC News so far there's no indication of foul play and that the death appears to have been from natural causes. The state
cocaine.
Okay, so 44-year-olds or 43-years don't die from natural causes when they're thin like this. It's something's weird, and I'm not going to. It could. There's no way it's fentanyl.
I mean, there's no way.
She said she came down a couple of days before with health issues.
That's why I'm concerned about. That's why I'm getting on my virgin oil and honey. I'm concerned.
Yeah, it could have been something, vac or infectious related. You don't want to say that, but who knows?
Oh yeah, she's fully vaxxed. I'm just saying, she's probably fully vaxxed.
Most likely.
She worked for Biden. She was fully vaxxed. She got all 15 of them.
And she was investigating some bad stuff, too.
A medical examiner will determine her cause of death. Attorney General Pam Bondi posting to X, the loss of Jessica Aber is deeply tragic. Our hearts and prayers go out to her family and friends during this profoundly difficult time. Aber was appointed by former President Biden as the top prosecutor in the Eastern District of Virginia in 2021. She and her staff of roughly 300 prosecuted a number of high-profile cases, including cyber and drug cases.
Cartel got her.
She also prosecuted war crimes in Ukraine.
We at the Eastern District of Virginia are proud to stand with the Criminal Division as part of the Department of Justice's efforts to hold perpetrators of war crimes violations accountable.
Aber resigned January 20th of this year when President Trump took office.
Her successor at the Eastern District called her a mentor and a proud Virginian since high school, saying that
we still don't have any idea what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Just a cardiac arrest.
Which doesn't happen on thin 43-year-olds. It doesn't happen.
According to her friend, a family friend, said that she had a long-standing medical issue.
Of what?
It doesn't say. It just says she was battling a long-standing medical issue.
She looked healthy as hell.
Yeah.
Except the chin.
She had a bad chin?
I mean, she didn't even have one.
Oh, she had no chinitis?
No chinitis.
When I returned, did you see the high school girls basketball coach that got fired for pulling the girl's ponytail? Back when I was a kid, man, you could yoke up a kid, anything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but someone, Bubba, if you were wrestling and your wrestling coach pulled you aside and you had your headgear on, which was open on the top, and he started pulling on your hair and yelling at you, you'd be freaking pissed.
No, it happened to me.
You pulled your hair and yelled at you? No one pulled my hair and yelled at me. I've had coaches like grab a helmet, smack a helmet. No one pulled my hair. Someone pulls my hair, we're getting in a fight.
Well, we'll talk about that next.
If you love that segment, then check out BubbaArmyHQ.com and do a deep dive on past shows. The Bubba the Love Sponge Show will be right back.
I think there's more stuff in here.
Okay, bring it to me.
Went to the store.
Yep, dark match. She did too much. Exactly, TJ Roy.
Looks like you're baking a cake, man.
Hi, Warren.
Hi, Bubba. Sorry.
And then, I don't know if this is. I think that's. Or is it the same shit? Just keep it there. Okay.
Rich the Mark, what's up? Tease, good morning. Gene. What's up, Jeff Harrison?
Proof Fit on every wild child. Pampers Cruisers 360, the #1 pull-on diaper.
One person that is getting high praise is
Stuck at the end, so.
Boss in Guantanamo.
So he was convicted of
a gang member, guy, who abided by federal law, and the president because he thinks he's doing a good job. But Tom Homan is upset because there's some cities not abiding by. Tom Homan is upset. Tom Homan is upset because.
Bronco Bill, what's up? No, I should have bought it when it was low. It's already going back up. Snook Slayer. Snook Slayer, if you're a slayer of snook, what's the best bait to catch snook off a dock? I got a bunch of them in my dock right now. Big fuckers. And you don't have to throw them back, I just want to catch the motherfuckers. I might son catch a couple, so buzz them up. Joe Ma, thank you. $50. Weight loss medicine destroys your munchies desire. Wayne, you're correct.
Our intern just stopped and stared at me.
Who did?
Our intern.
Oh.
It's a little awkward.
Fill the katana stuff. Phil McCracken. The intern, the guy from the Circle K? Or so.
Joe Ma, $50 for Dr. Nan's roof.
Broadcasting live from the Aquabito studios, aquabito.com/Bubba. It's the Bubba the Love Sponge show.
Admittedly, I'm a little off today, so sorry. I'm fighting through this. Dan, would it be like an upper respiratory infection?
That's exactly what it is.
Okay,
It's
so
exactly what it
that's
is.
what the pharmacist told me it was.
Mm-hmm.
And she said,
the pharmacist up here that we've spoken to, the one at Publix?
yeah, she's great.
She's nice. Yeah, she is nice.
You know, she gave me the bad news, though. That they don't make Sippy Sippy no more.
Really?
They don't make you. I don't think I don't think doctors can call in the Sippy Sippy. The codeine cough medicine.
Yeah, well.
I don't think you can get it anymore.
The drug cartels have ruined it for people with, surgery and sore throats and the cough.
Because
they've outlawed everything, Bubba. They're outlawing every kind of narcotic known to man.
Like back in the day, when you do a surgery, a major surgery, let's say you did like a breast aug, tummy tuck, lipo, like a pretty aggressive, like if you get a girl that really wants a total makeover, sometimes it's a 3 or 2 part surgery, right? Mm-hmm. Like, sometimes you got to do like the lunch lady arms, and then you'll have to do like
hours for each part.
Right. And these poor women or men have, 6 to 10 drains on them. They've been cut vertical. They look like a zipper. You've cut so much fat out of them and lipoed them and all kinds of things that legitimately they would be a candidate for a pain pill.
Yeah, every surgery I do is a candidate for pain pills.
Sure.
And so they all hurt. You're cutting muscle, you're cutting skin. And I'm restricted. I can't give more than 30 Percocet on after an operation.
And that's
if I
on
give
the
more,
high. Hold on. And 30 is on the high end, meaning you had to really put that girl through the ringer to give her 30.
No. 30 is the maximum I'm allowed to. 32 is the maximum I'm allowed to give in a single prescription right now.
No.
But they all get 32. They need 40, Bubba.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is that could be a 40 or 50 deal.
Right.
With a 1 or 2 refill. Mm-hmm. But to today's world, man, it's just ridiculous, including the most effective cough syrup. There's this cough syrup that's got codeine in it that really, really suppresses your cough. And it's the only thing that really, really helps a deep bronchial upper respiratory kind of deal. And, I went to her. I was like, hey, can I have my doctor? She's like, no, I can't fill it because they don't have it anymore. I'm like, what do you mean you don't got it no more? She's like, we don't have it anymore. They took it off the shelves.
Wow.
Because people were abusing it because it worked.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway,
Joe Ma, $50 in the super chat.
Thank you. Been a slow day.
Thank you.
Speaking of, maybe giving us PayPal, Venmo, Cash App isn't your jam, but you could certainly let me go buy one of the. I think we're 2/3 sold out of the $39.95 best cologne ever. Bubba Army Alpha, Volume 25. Dan, did you take yours home?
Yes, I did.
And
thank you.
You're welcome. Now, not only that, but for a month, we're also accepting pre-orders on the Fat Man Dunks 3, the limited edition. You'll get, of course, your commemorative box, and you'll get your, and here's what the shoe looks like right there. And in that little bubble area will be a 3, signifying this is our 3rd series of commemorative shoes. We're only taking a month worth of pre-buys or you can buy them.
Are people into them? Because in chat yesterday, it's, I think, what was the final percentage of people that were interested in the shoes?
I think like 23 to 70.
77?
77, something like that.
You know that kid that...
But you know how chat is, Seth. I could come up with the greatest cure for cancer for $10, and they'd say no.
No, chat's the best. I wasn't sure how the pre-orders were going for you. If you thought that people,
the pre-orders have been. I mean, chat does not signify the buying taste of the Bubba Army. That guy gear jamming in California right now that went home later today and went to BubbaArmyMerch.com and looked at the new Fat Man Dunk 3 and bought a size 12 out of Bakersfield, California. He's not on hater ass chat.
That's what the kid that bought the Fat Man Dunks the first time?
Right.
His dad came on and said his kid wants them and he wasn't able to, but he's going to buy a couple pairs.
Yeah.
His kid said they look awesome.
I've noticed the majority of our sales have been multiple. Like we're selling 2 of them. Maybe one to keep and one to wear.
That's what Mark from Tarpon does.
So anyway, the Fat Man Dunks 3, expect them in about 10 weeks from now.
Nice.
So Bubba Army Merch, Bubba Army Store, BubbaArmyShop.com. I had this story yesterday, but there's a follow-up on it. Are they saying that, are they making an excuse for the guy, or did he resign, or what? I think he resigned, did he not?
I saw he apologized. I'm not sure if there was resignation.
Congratulations as well to Coach Zulo. Came out
he
of
apologized.
To coach this Falcons team. 2 state championship appearances in 2 seasons. I think that's pretty.
Oh, he got fired.
Now, what was he mad about? He's obviously a successful coach because they're saying that, I don't know if this is okay. So this is the 2025 girls semifinal. So, obviously they're like in the final 4 or 8, and maybe they lost, and maybe this girl was yapping her mouth or something, and he wanted to quiet her up. I don't know why he pulled her ponytail.
Congratulations as well to Coach Zulo. Came out.
It looks like she was crying, and maybe he was telling her to straighten up.
Career. Congratulations as well to Coach Zulo. Came out of retirement to coach this Falcons team. 2 state.
What a nasty old man.
Yeah, I mean, guys cry. You can't let a girl cry if she's losing in the semifinals.
He's 81.
He's 81?
Yes.
Out of retirement to coach this Falcons team.
They couldn't fire him for elder.
Well, he came out of retirement to coach the team.
Oh,
yeah,
good.
Yeah, he
good.
came out of retirement to coach the team.
Let's go back to retirement.
And
hope he chokes on his pudding.
Hey, Dan, is that worse? Because we were talking about earlier. Is yanking her hair like that? Is that worse than the guy that was filming the girls' change at the high school? Because this girl actually got touched.
No. I mean, that's not
an offensive touching. That's an aggressive touching.
This is not a sexual at all touching. Not to say that it's right, but it's just kind of just like it's not a sexual thing at all.
I would simply go up to the guy and I'd pull his freaking hair down until he fell to the ground, and then we'd be even.
You know what I do? I'd go in the back of his head and slap him as hard as I could in one of those little hot dog rolls.
I'd pull that hair. I'd pull him right down to the ground by his hair and say, "Even, bitch."
Yeah, the girl's a senior and was the program's all-time leading scorer, but she fouled out in the game and was sad.
I mean, yeah, you'd kick his ass in the parking lot, right?
That's schoolyard fighting right there. That's a schoolyard fight. And I'm old too, so he can't go with elder abuse. You
can kick an 81-man's ass and not feel bad about it.
No,
hold on.
He just picked on a 20-year-old girl or a 16-year-old girl, 16-year-old girl.
No, hold on. Let's make it more personal. What if he did that to Sophia?
I'd pull him by the back of his hair, drag him on the ground, and say, "How does that feel, bitch?" Just like that. Just like that. And I'd challenge a jury to throw me in jail for that retaliation. They wouldn't. They'd agree 100%.
Imagine an environment where your manufacturer.
What?
I said they'd agree with me. He needs to be slapped or his hair pulled like a little bitch. And that would learn him.
And
what would Gene do? Gene would do it in front of the world.
Well, Gene would probably stab him.
But he wouldn't. Not for that. He would do exactly what I said. And Gene, you're on chat. What do you think? You do that. He wouldn't kill him. He wouldn't stab him. No reason to go to jail forever.
I think Dan would actually, even if it was his daughter's team, I think Dan, if it happened to somebody else on their team, I think Dan would still do what he said he would do to the coach after.
Oh yeah, if it happened to Frankie or Grant or one of Matthew, one of his really close buddies, yeah, I would dive on the guy. Yes, absolutely. The same way that those little kids defended my son when the kid tried to fight him on the court. They're all one team, one person, one mission. You mess with one of us, you mess with all of us. It's the way the world works here.
So he's looking for sympathy about it, Bubba, because
who, the old timer?
Yeah, he said he was a highly successful boys coach. He retired, and then his wife was dying of cancer, and her last wish was to have him coach the girls team. She died, and
she didn't say coach the girls team and make sure you pull a couple girls' ponytails.
She just said to coach the girls up because he would be able to help her.
Yeah, I mean,
you're a little unhinged at 81 if you're doing that.
Yeah,
I don't care how badly you wanted to win one for your wife that passed. That's insane behavior.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when the girl's not doing anything behaviorally wrong. She's just upset that they've lost the game and she's fouled out and she's crying.
And it's her last game of in her high school career.
I mean, just like Dan said, men athletes cry too.
Oh, there's a lot of crying during March Madness.
We see guys cry the whole time. I see guys cry. What was that? Was it the Ohio State quarterback that was crying on the sideline when they lost their first game? Was it Ohio State or was it Alabama? It was it was this year. The quarterback was crying on the bench like a little bitch because they lost an early game in the season. And you know what? It's okay. It's okay. No one's gonna pull his hair.
I cry a lot.
I cried all day yesterday because of my buddy, but I cried when I've told this story before. I cried when Frosty the Snowman melted, but he came back. He came back.
Why does it feel good to cry?
Yeah, but hold on. Talk about being mean to the kids. He came back only as a false finish, and then they took him away again.
Yeah,
remember?
True. Yeah, he
Frosty
away.
Melted. And then they threw him when and then he's gone. Then he's gone again.
Yeah, until Christmas time next year. Yeah, right, till Lent or Advent.
You saw the president on the CPAC stage saying Tom Homan is killing it, and part of the reason Tom Homan is escalating his rhetoric. In a good way. Yeah, he's killing it in a good way. That's right. I forgot. Sometimes I use young people speak. Right? I should use more diverse language for everybody.
If you don't mind.
Of all different groups. Old? I'm not calling him old. Not just yet. Middle age.
A little bit later.
Okay. All right.
He said earlier he's just average.
Just average.
Jesus. Shut up.
That's all. Yes.
Man, I'm sucking these cough drops like it's crack.
But he's getting high remarks from the president.
So I think it's working.
You sound better. Objectively, you sound a little better.
It's kind of lubricating my throat.
Doing its job. Incredible invention, right?
Yeah.
President, because he thinks he's doing a good job. But Tom Homan is upset because there are some cities not abiding by federal law. And
here's what I don't understand. When Tom Homan, who's the new border czar, is rolling into Boston and Chicago and some of these cities that don't recognize his authority, what happens? Like,
here's the law, Bubba.
Procedurally,
here's the law, Bubba. It's already been sorted out through the courts. Federal law trumps state law.
But no pun intended.
It does, but it supersedes state law. However, the federal government cannot force state employees to enact federal law. So this came up when they were doing background checks, and the federal government was trying to force local sheriffs to do the background checks and not paying them. And they're like, we're not doing it. They're like, okay, well, we're forcing you. Supreme Court said you can't force state employees to carry out federal law. So
really?
that's why DeSantis added it to the law here that the federal
Donald Trump, who is the president and the commander-in-chief of our country,
yes,
roll into a Philadelphia police precinct and tell the guy working the desk, I want you to do background checks on these four illegals. and he could say, "Nope, my immediate supervisor has instructed me not to."
He's not interfering. You just can't use state employees to enact federal
That's what I'm saying.
law without they can't impede it. They can't get in the way, but they don't have to lift a pinky.
But
they don't have to lift a pinky.
Could Trump then say, "Okay, so move over and show me how to run this machine. I'll do it myself"?
Arguably, yes.
He could.
Arguably, especially with a warrant.
Boston is one of them. Look at this guy who the cops went after. ICE arrested him, and he's smiling. He's a gang member from Brazil, known, wanted, and not taking it seriously. I think he will once he's in Guantanamo Bay.
So he was convicted of assault and battery against a Massachusetts resident back in September, sentenced to 1 year in prison, but then released after 3 months because the city is ignoring the ICE immigration detainer.
Insane.
And police commissioner is not cooperating.
Man, it's like the past administration gave more rights to people from not our country than those from our country. Meaning, like, you could be lesser charged and do a really bad thing back then than a person who's just a bona fide American. They're going to make that bona fide American stand trial and do his time.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to let that stinky immigrant, it sounds like, go.
I think the average amount of money spent per illegal immigrant is way higher than the average money spent per citizen in this country over the last couple of years. And that's what
Convicted of
offends
assault
most
and
people.
battery against a Massachusetts resident back in September, sentenced to 1 year in prison, but then released after.
Fish on the J25 with a PayPal, Lummy.
Thank you.
PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, The Bubba Army, or BubbaArmyTips.com.
After 3 months because the city is ignoring the ICE immigration detainer.
Insane.
And police commissioner is not cooperating with ICE.
Right. So here is President Trump touting the crackdown on immigration. Even though he wants more criminals picked up, he's happy with the border, with the sealing of the border and the crackdown across the country.
The fraudsters, liars, cheaters, globalists, and deep state bureaucrats are being sent packing. The illegal alien criminals are being sent home. We're draining the swamp and we're restoring government by the people, for the people. We're liberating communities like Aurora, Colorado, and Springfield, Ohio, that have been occupied by illegal alien criminals from all over the world. We're rescuing the Americans whose jobs have been stolen, whose wages have been robbed, and whose way of life has been absolutely destroyed. I have to clean up the mess. I'm cleaning up the mess, and it is a mess on the border with inflation. To go over every single thing he touched turned to okay? Everything.
Is that the first time he's cussed?
No, he cusses a lot.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Oh,
Colorful,
wow.
but it's true. And if you look at all these major cities now, you got all of these people that are essentially aiding the cartel and their criminal enterprise, because you got these gang members and these criminal aliens that are in these apartments or in these homes, and ICE is showing up with all the rest of the feds, and they're essentially on bullhorns letting them know that they're there. Now, if a drug dealer did this on the South Side and was a call-out boy for another drug dealer, they would be jammed up and charged with accessory, helping and aiding with them. But these guys aren't being jammed up. So Tom Homan is saying, look, I'm contacting Pam Bondi at the Department of Justice to see where the line is, and we're going to start jamming up some of these activists. They're saying it's free speech, but you're giving your free speech is aiding criminals.
But this is kind of like, Bubba, this is, you know the analogy of this is? There's a speed trap, and people are flashing lights on oncoming traffic to warn them of the speed trap. And if a cop sees you doing that, he's going to come after you.
I think that got overturned.
As a free speech?
I think in Florida that got overturned. That if you flash your lights to oncoming traffic to let them know of a speed trap up the road, I could be wrong. This was years ago.
Yeah, it was controversial. I remember, and I know a policeman will still stop you for that. You may not have any jurisdiction, and may not have any authority, and may get thrown out. He's still going to be pissed, and he's going to harass you for it.
So this guy's saying that these illegal immigrants that stay within these closely knit, communities, in these urban cities, that when the ICE unit comes in, they're getting on bullhorns. They got these call-out boys that get on bullhorns and tell the bad guys that the feds are in town.
It looks like it's legal in Florida.
Legal.
The flasher lights.
It's legal or illegal?
Legal.
See, I was right, wasn't I?
Yeah. Jay said, yep.
People that are essentially aiding the cartel and their criminal enterprise, because you got these gang members and these criminal aliens that are in these apartments or in these homes, and ICE is showing up with all the rest of the feds, and they're essentially on bullhorns letting them know that they're there. Now, if a drug dealer did this on the South Side and was a call-out boy for another drug dealer, they would be jammed up and charged with
why couldn't you jam up the call-out boys?
You can, and Jay even said, flashing your high beams is much different than interfering with an ongoing criminal arrest of illegal aliens. It's much more involved. And so there is a line, and maybe they need some clarification of the line.
Because Holman's just coming in and cleaning house.
Yeah.
Call-out boys are not.
accessory, helping and aiding with them. But these guys aren't being jammed up. So Tom Homan is saying, look, I'm contacting Pam Bondi at the Department of Justice to see where the line is, and we're going to start jamming up some of these activists. They're saying it's free speech, but you're giving your free speech is aiding criminals.
When you're speeding, if someone's coming the other way, they flash their headlights at you to slow down. That could get you fined, but pulled over. So this is something much more serious. So Tom Homan was fired up, and he talked about some of the struggles he's having with these blue-run cities where a lot of illegals call home, especially Boston. Listen.
Now, is this not going to, this is my opinion, but if you're a bad guy and you're an illegal immigrant and you're doing bad guy stuff, wouldn't you want to gravitate to one of these sanctuary cities?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I live in Denver or San Francisco.
Be like, hey, listen, man, if I live in Tampa, I'm going to get my ass hemmed up.
Yeah, there's a lot of them going to.
But if I go move to Chicago, and I can run my criminal operation out of Chicago because I'm protected. Like, it's almost like the city is protecting scumbags.
Well, I mean, if they're in Boston, let's say today, and they're picking up people around the area for the next 2 weeks, then they're out of the next city. And maybe you just start living in all the cities that they've already visited until it's time for them to come back around.
If you and I are in Chicago, and I'm like, say, Seth, guess what? Yeah. They're coming to Chicago. But they were just in Boston last week. So how about you and I, go halvesies on the plane ticket?
Let's do it.
Or just get in your Fort Hemi.
Jump on the Greyhound.
Now, I'm not saying I'm smarter than Tom Homan. I mean, he would definitely find me at some point, but I don't think I would be staying in the same place where maybe I committed crimes in the past.
That's where the line is. And we're going to start jamming up some of these activists. They're saying it's free speech, but you're giving your free speech is aiding criminals.
When you're speeding, if someone's coming the other way, they flash their headlights at you to slow down. That could get you fined, but pulled over. So this is something much more serious. So Tom Homan was fired up, and he talked about some of the struggles he's having with these blue-run cities where a lot of illegals call home, especially Boston. Listen.
I'm coming to Boston. I'm bringing hell with me. 9 child rapists that were in jail in Massachusetts, but rather than honoring an ICE detainer, released them back into the street. You're not a police commissioner. Take that badge off your chest, put it in the desk drawer. Because you became a politician, you forgot what it's like to be a cop.
I mean, true.
Yeah, I love him.
When you're letting 9 child rapists back into the community to potentially, I mean, listen, child rapists don't stop at one rape. Let's just be honest.
Nope, they do not.
In fact, I think statistically over the years, I've had people say that the average person that touches kids touches up to 32 kids before they're caught.
I thought it was like 15 or 18, but yeah, it's a huge number.
It's a huge number.
It's a huge number. It's disgusting.
So you've got 9 of these people that have been identified as child rapers, and you, as the highest-ranking lawman in this particular jurisdiction, let them back onto the streets. You're right. Take that badge off and because you're not a sworn police officer upholding the laws of Massachusetts. You are a politician. He's right.
I mean, can he explain that?
But here's a problem. Sheriffs do run for office, and so they are politicians.
Yeah. Well, usually when you're running in a blue state by blue governor and a blue mayor. Your sheriff and or police commissioner is either appointed by the mayor or is probably blue because everybody else is blue.
They have to be,
right?
You'll call it nonpartisan, but they're still the same.
You never see a Republican sheriff with a Democratic mayor, a Democratic governor, a Democratic council. It's usually across the board.
But you do have a Republican siding sheriff in Tampa, in Hillsborough County, with a Democratic siding mayor in Jane Castor. So
and guess what?
They are opposites, and they fight.
Guess what?
What?
Castor loses.
She's won too.
Not really. She knows better to mess with Chad.
Yeah, Chad's super popular, and it's a big problem in Florida when you have these incorporated counties that are stronger than the cities within the county, and there's tension between the sheriff and the mayor. It happens all the time in Florida.
To ICE, that makes absolutely no sense.
But we're in the process. The judge comes in New York City. I don't know what they're doing in Boston, and always makes these serious crimes misdemeanors, and then lets them out with almost no bail, the no cash bail law, and then the cops got to go pick them.
So you got another layer of effery when it comes to the judicial system. Maybe you got a Grady Judd that's ready to go ahead and take that scumbag nine men that have raped children and make him have to pay for it and want to hand him over to Tom Holman. But I guess the guy gets his day in court, and the judge could potentially do anything with the sentence, including commute it, right? I mean, there's a lot of
discretion.
There's a lot of different hoops that these people have to jump through in order to get these scumbags off of our streets. It's just not as simple as going and rounding them up.
In New York City, I don't know what they're doing in Boston, and always makes these serious crimes misdemeanors, and then lets them out with almost no bail, the no cash bail law, and then the cops got to go pick them up again. And after a while, they go, what am I bothering for? Or why do we want to do this job? So one city council member, this Susan Durkin, said, I understand that Tom Holman spent his career as a federal agent within Border Patrol and ICE, but that's a world away from the realities of policing in a major city. His background is in immigration enforcement, not community policing. What are you talking about?
Message to Susan and to all the people who live in Boston that support these sanctuary city ridiculous rules. These are child rapists. That's the worst. That is evil. You will be punished by God one day because of that. That is evil. It is so wrong. And to defend them and let them out early so that they can be back on the streets and do it again, they ruined lives. Those lives will never be the same. Those are heinous, evil crimes. And so I don't understand how a city council person can defend, or this police officer or the commissioner can defend these criminals.
I know. It happens in New York every day.
Just because you got a stud in Tom Holman that's going to come in and try to get these bad guys out of our system and back to where they came from. There's so many other checks and balances that could potentially put them back on the street, including their day in front of the judge. So it's just not like all these laws that Trump are signing. Half of them are getting thrown out by federal judges. I don't know if people know that or not.
Well, a lot of them are. A lot of Biden's laws did. It happens all the time. The executive order is not really the best mechanism for enacting law because it could be changed by the next guy, and it could be very, very, very successfully challenged. The goal is to have legislation codify your policy, and so I think that the president now, and I think Biden should have understood that, if he really wants to make some lasting change, and you have all three branches, then pass the laws that support what you want, and then you have lasting change.
When we return, we'll talk about the Brett Gardner, the former Yankee, all-time great. Was he second baseman, outfielder?
Outfielder.
Great. What, 13, 14 years in the league?
14 years.
With the Yankees, I think, didn't he?
He took less money at the end of his career to stay with the Yankees.
Son died while on vacation. They're saying asphyxiation.
And intoxication and food. It doesn't make sense.
Well, we got a doctor to wade through it. We'll get to it next.
If you want 24/7 on-demand Bubba and the crew, go to BubbaArmyHQ.com.
Right now.
The Bubba the Love Sponge show will be back after this.
People don't just die in Costa Rica. Healthy as shit. I go to that.
Is the John Cena heel change? Is it working, Seth?
I didn't see last night, but yeah, I mean everybody's booing him.
Is Edge not working out at AEW?
I don't hear a lot about AEW anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, it used to pop up a lot, but I don't know.
They're kind of losing their luster, aren't they? A little bit.
I don't know. They might have had some luster for a little bit, but I just think they lack storylines from what I read. I'm not 100% sure, obviously.
Possible way. You guys are not going to want to miss this.
Late night TV. It all started with a canceled talk show appearance. Star just put Jimmy Kimmel in his place, and it wasn't pretty. Kimmel thought mocking Stallone on live TV.
Oh man, there's a bunch of merch. There's a bunch of merch shit on YouTube now.
Ours?
Yeah, have you seen it?
Yeah, I guess he's doing a feed now.
Big mistake. Stallone fired back with a viral post that didn't just clap back, it obliterated Kimmel's reputation. Stallone went for the knockout, exposing the hypocrisy and arrogance festering in late night TV. And trust me, Kimmel exposing the hypocrisy and arrogance festering in late night TV. And trust me,
Man, Paige Beckers was fucking money last night, and Juju Watkins. Oh man, that's so sad.
What was that, buddy?
Oh man, Juju Watkins is probably the next biggest star to come out of college, and she tore her knee last night.
She did?
Yeah. Yeah, they might have won the national championship.
All faster than ever. One actor's quiet defiance is making waves. Between a Hollywood lefties provocative wit and ending the disrespect.
Ooh, this fan feels nice.
Appearance. Imagine that. Executives scramble to make Stallone made it clear, alienating his office.
You're always talking bad about Trump.
He called us doofuses when we had you.
It's a group of doofuses in flat-brimmed hats. Guess what? We asked him how many. We asked him, yeah, you do bigger. Yeah. His show's dying.
While some applaud Kimmel for his candor, others argue his increasingly divisive commentary is driving audiences away. Unlike his late-night peers, like Jimmy Fallon, who keeps things light with goofy games and celebrity sing-alongs, Kimmel isn't afraid to dive headfirst into controversial topics. For some viewers, this bold approach is a breath of fresh air. For others, it's a major turn-on. And when it comes to Stallone,
Stallone has reacted to Jimmy Kimmel making a joke about Trump and Melania.
War plans.
Jimmy took another shot at Donald Trump. This time, his reaction to Elon Musk.
Oh, fuck.
Demanding that every federal enforcement exist. She's just not responding. Speculation about her whereabouts has only intensified. With some promises an inside look at her life and finally answer some of the questions. Until then, though, the speculation isn't going anywhere. And now, Stallone has reacted.
Have you watched the Gemstones yet, Bubba?
No.
They're 3 episodes deep in the new season.
How many seasons do they got?
This is the last one, 4th, I think.
Which show?
Righteous Gemstones on HBO.
Righteous Gemstone?
Yeah.
Sylvester Stallone.
It's got Danny McBride in it, John Goodman.
We've all.
It's the only show I watch.
With both the film industry and successfully was able to reject Stallone from appearing on his episode that was supposed to air at some point.
Curb's done, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too many people have died.
In real life?
Yeah.
Richard Lewis.
Broadcasting live from the Aquabito Studios. Aquabito.com/Bubba. It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
Bubba the Love Sponge Show. Clem Kush today.
Are you sure you want to do that? I was going to ask you.
Well, no, I don't.
Okay, yeah. I got a podcast to put in its place. So
okay, so it doesn't screw you at all.
No, I'm good.
You sure?
I'm chill, dude.
Okay, buddy.
Yeah. Rest that throat.
You sound so much better than you did 2 hours ago.
Well, I do. I mean, once I get going a little bit.
Yeah. How many cough drops have you had so far?
I've almost eaten a whole pack.
That's good. Perfect.
but
you haven't heard, Lummy?
I don't know if he's sucking on the one.
I'm like a degenerate white trash cigarette smoker. Have you ever seen the guy that lights his cigarette off the other one?
Yep.
Yeah. I think Ben Affleck does that.
Yeah.
We used to have a guy that worked here did that. Cigarette John.
Oh yeah, true.
He was.
Did anybody? Is anybody familiar with? I just found out yesterday through whatever YouTube rabbit hole I was going through that Jimmy Kimmel and Sly Stallone just had a big whodunit.
No.
Did you not? And everybody is pissed off at Jimmy Kimmel, including ABC, threatening not to be. They're saying that he's done after. I don't know if it's after this year or after next year, Jimmy Kimmel, because Jimmy Kimmel
he's not funny.
He's not funny. Jimmy Fallon's funny.
He's way funnier.
Colbert's okay, but do you know who's killing it in late night? That everybody's freaked out and it's not even network television.
Greg Gutfeld.
Yeah, Gutfeld.
Greg Gutfeld.
He's funny.
He's killing it.
He has good writers.
He's killing it.
And he's not. And he's a little. He's a little edgy too.
And so
these guys aren't.
Jimmy Kimmel has turned his late night deal into just basically a big liberal, libtard, making fun of Trump, Hollywood deal. And supposedly he invited Sly Stallone to come on the show. Well, upon researching Sly and whatever, Sly, I guess, is not a big Trump dude, but sorry, these are the only thing that keep these cough drops may sound a little uncomfortable for you, but they're making me feel better. So
I don't know the story, but now I'm just already asking, what is it? You're booking your guests based off who they support politically?
Exactly. And so like Sly Stallone was like, I'm going to promote Tulsa King and my new reality show I have with my family and some projects that I got going on.
He's got like 3 beautiful daughters.
Right. I'm not here. I guess he sent word back to AB because Jimmy Kimmel is the one that canceled. Jimmy Kimmel was the one that didn't want Sly Stallone based on, I guess, Sly Stallone's political affiliation.
Shadow Panda, $20.
And so, thank you, buddy. And so,
I mean, did he get bumped for a bigger guest that night, or was
no? Just canceled. And Sly Stallone, it's kind of backfiring on Jimmy because Sly Stallone is like in Hollywood. where people really don't really actors don't really get as long as they keep their mouths shut.
Scott Baio got run out of Hollywood for voicing his support.
Well,
That's right.
Sabato Jr. It's very difficult, Bubba, because it's so liberal in the media.
It depends on how big of a slinging D you are in the business.
Well, Mel Gibson survived it.
It's again.
Yeah.
He's massive.
Again.
Right? I understand.
Sly Stallone's
Massive.
probably one of the top 5 leading men of all time.
Oh, interesting.
I mean, as far as
top 10 all day.
As far as what he has made box office wise, he's in the multi-billions.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
well, I mean, Will Smith probably made more. So who do you think's a better actor?
Probably Will.
Okay.
But, Sly Stallone is royalty.
Yes.
Will Smith is royalty.
And so this feud's been going on now for about 2 months.
It's been going on since November when Jimmy called out Sylvester.
Oh, no.
Yeah, Jimmy Kimmel, some guy who did the Man Show, and before that was the stunt boy, was basically the KROQ piss Tuttle.
He was, but that's such a great station to work for, Bubba. Even if you only worked there for a couple weeks and decided to come back home to Tampa.
Same station, huh?
Yeah.
So it's very safe to say at this point that actors out there like Sylvester Stallone, Zachary Levi, and among others like James Woods, for example, they are really coming forward with a lot of their overall ideas that are deeply opposed by those within the media, those within the film industry, the Hollywood...
Man, if I'm Jimmy Kimmel, if I'm Bubba the Love Sponge, and I have a chance to have arguably one of the top 10 leading men of all time, I don't care who you voted for. That's not gonna. You know what? We're not even gonna bring it up. We have so many other things to talk about that's not even a problem.
That's as absurd as people catching grief for interviewing Trump as the sitting president.
Right.
Well, Bubble, whatever have
makes
you.
no sense.
These are the very actors that have been rejected left and right through many different offers out there, and we all know what happened between...
This is Jimmy Kimmel taking himself a little too seriously, because you couldn't be a pimple on Sly Stallone's ass.
Jimmy Kimmel and Sylvester Stallone, we talked about this.
I mean, does Jimmy Kimmel think that he's all that?
Well,
he does.
Bubba, I think, in the end, Jimmy Kimmel, I will probably say I could have another guest on, and, I don't think Sly Stallone's going to move the ratings, one way or another that much. I don't know if that's what Jimmy's thinking. It could be we can replace him with somebody else. But if that's one of the things that you look at when you're booking a guest, then I think you gotta just go do a political show at that point.
And then he doubles down, Seth, after he cancels and starts doing cuts on him.
Give or take around 9 days ago, and it really backfired for ABC/Disney. Let's get into all of this as to exactly what is going on now between both Sylvester Stallone and Jimmy Kimmel. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. So one thing about Jimmy Kimmel, and we've all known about this for a very long time now, is that I think it's very fair to say that he is by far the most rejected late night host on television right now, even worse than Jimmy Fallon. And I'll give Jimmy Fallon...
Oh, and by the way, his ratings have tanked because
Kimmel?
of this. Yes, have tanked.
This, even though I'm not a fan, at least he's not too political or overly political. Jimmy Kimmel...
When you're a radio piss boy and you're not a Jon Stewart who came up through the stand-up comedian ranks, and or a Greg Gutfeld, but you're a Jimmy Kimmel, and you're an ex-radio guy that literally wasn't even a KROQ, wasn't even one of the hosts. He was the piss boy.
They still have his picture hanging up in the halls.
He was the Tuttle, and you now think that you are. By the way, he's best friends with Howard Stern. That's his best friend. They vacation together.
I mean, Bubba,
Kimmel?
Yeah.
Didn't Jimmy Kimmel work here in Tampa too on the radio?
Yeah, at Q105.
Oh, okay.
Bubba, that's quite a long way to go, though, from being a radio piss boy to having a late night show on ABC.
But you still gotta kind of, Seth, in my opinion, stay in your lane.
Oh yeah, I don't know the dynamics of late night. I've never watched it at all, but I just think that from radio, I've always just thought that it was cool that he got to where he was.
And you know what? Up until this story, and up until he got very, very political on his show, and when it was lighthearted, and it was more like the Man Show, I agree. I was proud for, man, you know what? Radio produced, we in radio produced a guy that made it clear to the top. Howard, him.
One of us.
He makes $15 million a year.
Not one of us.
John Gano, 25 on the Bubba Army tips. Get
Really
better.
does it.
Thank you, buddy.
In a very, extensive.
But when you think that you're all that you can take the hour real estate that ABC affords you to interview, because let's rewind here and look at the the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, which is what established this genre in itself. And it was after the local news, and it was an hour long that started at 10:30. And it went 10:30 to 11:30, and all it was Johnny come out, do a 2 or 3 minute monologue that was cornball or something to do with
family and life. It was very vanilla,
very pop culture.
Yes,
maybe take a shot at the president, maybe take a shot at an actress, whatever. Then sit down and and at that point, man, it was the only place that you as a celebrity could actually get and promote what you're doing. So
Ellen DeGeneres, she got her start there. Seinfeld did a big thing that launched him. He was the path to stardom.
And so that's what late night television started. You didn't get Johnny Carson or Jay Leno or Conan O'Brien or any of these guys up here that turned their talk show into a political machine or a political propaganda. I mean, Leno would make fun of Clinton, and Leno would make fun of, they would make fun. It would always be in a joking way.
Wasn't mean-spirited.
Way to the point where it's very much toxic and really drives away people. But focusing on what's been going on here. Now, we know that in recent weeks...
And to fight, and you never heard of Johnny Carson getting into a big-time feud with Clint Eastwood or some of the biggest stars in Hollywood. Those are the people that Johnny needed to keep the show going.
Right.
Jimmy Kimmel won another.
And yes, they all talked about politics, but it was always in a schmarmy, cheese dick kind of, funny way.
There's just so much political content now with Twitter and everything it's very, very easy to pick it for your late night show, and I guess to go one way or another. I would assume ABC wants him to go this way, right?
No, they don't.
They don't.
They're freaked out right now. They are. It'll probably get into it. They are in crisis control right now, based on advertisers and ratings drops.
Nothing to do with
I need to probably shut my mouth and let this guy explain the story.
Mr. Stallone
and eat another cough drop.
When he joked about him on live television, he joked about him on his show, and it really backfired.
And here's the deal, man. When Johnny Carson, well, first of all, nobody said no to Johnny Carson. Nobody said no.
He was the title maker.
But if somebody couldn't make it or there was a conflict or something, Johnny didn't do a monologue making fun of the person.
Not only for him, but also for ABC/Disney and the executives, the board of directors over there. And it's only getting worse now, because now we have Jimmy Kimmel beginning to crawl up into a ball and begging Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah,
let's get into this. Now, with both the film industry and the media now falling apart, officially more and more actors are beginning to become more vocal in recent weeks. One of which is Sylvester Stallone, who is now actively taking major steps to battle against the media, one of which now involves a serious grudge between both Jimmy Kimmel and Sylvester Stallone, after Kimmel urged ABC to boot Stallone from appearing on the Jimmy Kimmel Live show. and successfully was able to reject Stallone from appearing on his episode that was supposed to air at some point in December.
Now, hold on. Hope you heard that. It wasn't Stallone that said no to Jimmy. ABC and the producers threw an invitation to Stallone. He agreed, and Jimmy backed out of it.
However, a shocking turn of events is that this is now backfiring for ABC/Disney to the point where they are witnessing a ratings nosedive for Jimmy Kimmel yet again after making not only jokes about Stallone, but also booting him from the episode to do a one-on-one interview about the family Stallone and Tulsa King. Now, surprisingly, ABC...
And that's what the interview is going to be about. The two projects that he's got going on. It wasn't about who he voted for or who he likes or who you like or who I don't like.
Executives, including Jimmy Kimmel of all people, are begging Stallone to come back on the show and to rejoin Kimmel for a one-on-one interview. Stallone is now officially rejecting the renegotiation to come back on ABC and on Jimmy's show. It turns out this was all started when Jimmy wanted nothing to do with Stallone, since he came forward with his political opinion that resonated with over half the country. Both Stallone, his agent and manager have reportedly made it very clear to both Kimmel and the ABC executives that they are unwilling to take this offer at all after begging and treated so unfairly, and how they realize that this is only being...
Well, first of all, somebody needs to sit Jimmy down and say, Jimmy, interview these celebrities and stop worrying about who the president is.
Well, he's getting a lot of backlash again because of his comments with Tesla. The fire bombings.
Oh, well,
people want to cancel them now, too.
Done and offered due to a ratings decrease after ABC received extensive backlash. To make matters worse for Kimmel is that he even doubled down to get Stallone to agree that he would allow Stallone to say whatever he wants to say on his show, and even then Sylvester Stallone still rejected the offer outright.
If you're Stallone, you're like, listen, late night TV is a dying medium that's now being won by a cable news channel. Greg Gutfeld is beating you all.
Jay, sir.
Okay, perfect. So, like, I think Stallone has been on Rogan. I can go do Joe Rogan and Greg Gutfeld and
reach more people,
and then not have to worry about, what my political affiliation is.
Kimmel, of course, as well as the producers and executives, are now in a state of panic as they scramble to find a voice for that episode that will bump ratings that hold a differing view to Kimmel. So far, many actors that hold a different political opinion are actively also rejecting ABC's offer, one of which being Zachary Levi. This not only reeks desperation coming from ABC, Disney, but it's also disingenuous.
If I'm ABC Disney, I'm like, my guy that I'm paying $15 million a year to be my late night talk show host, and he has made his show into such a political platform that people that don't agree with his political affiliation are not coming on the show because he gets on here and makes us a political deal, then that's not the guy I want. I want a funny guy that interviews people and gets to know and tries to get that little tidbit of information out of, these celebrities that maybe you wouldn't find somewhere else.
Do you know what's really weird? I think if the election had gone the other way, none of this would be happening. ABC and Kimmel would just be going on the same way they were going on before, and they would have just ignored the swing of the public sentiment.
Something that Stallone doesn't put up with at all in the film industry and in show business altogether. Now, guys, before I move on, let me just say one thing about Stallone.
They're lacking something also that you said yesterday. They're lacking something which is a messenger for the political party, but also for entertaining. They don't have a single comedian right now who can cut through the political noise and be funny. The thing about Greg Gutfeld is he has guests on that make fun of Trump, and it's funny. He makes fun of everybody, and when Saturday Night Live was at its best, it didn't matter who the president was. They always made fun of them and made fun of other people. There's been so many opportunities to make fun of the Democrat Party for some of the stupid TikToks and some of the stupid things they've done, but they don't.
They need to come up with a show that says, you know what the show's title is? We make fun of everybody.
It's that's what you've done for 30 years. And so Jimmy Kimmel gets on and cries on the air, and he celebrates arson. He's not a funny human being anymore. He's blackface. He's done everything wrong. Misogynized women and with the man show. I mean, he's been one of the worst people ever to climb the ladder. And now that he's at the top, he's going to exclude Sly, who's arguably one of the top 5 action heroes ever. I mean, let's talk about leading men versus action heroes. Maybe number 2. It's him and Arnold probably.
Yeah.
So you're not going to have him on because of a political persuasion? It's
on him for not falling into Jimmy Kimmel's disingenuous behavior and the behavior coming from the ABC bigwigs, right? Now, what's interesting about this yet again is that, like I said before, this all comes from 8-9 days ago, where Jimmy Kimmel said, I don't want Stallone on the show, I don't want to hear from him, I don't want to talk to him, and he did not want to have him on that specific and dedicated episode for mid-December. And it was going to be the middle of the month, by the way. But what's
if I'm Bubba Clem, talk show host, and I'm like, I can't get Sly in here fast enough. I don't care who you vote for. I don't care who I vote for. That's not we're not bringing that up.
Interesting about this,
talking about how hot your daughters are and how much Tulsa King kicks ass.
Yet again, as well, as the fact that now the tables have turned. Now, basically, Sylvester.
Oh yeah, Sly Stallone has made Jimmy his bitch. Now you know how Sly is. He's not going to sit here and let you clown him. He's going to make you his bitch.
Mr. Stallone has the power, and Jimmy Kimmel is begging for him to come back on his show. He wants nothing to do with him. Sylvester is done with Jimmy Kimmel. He is going on other shows now, like Joe Rogan.
Yeah, that's all you need.
Gutfeld, other popular podcasts out there that he's considering that are widely popular on social media. Sylvester Stallone wants to actually go down that route, and I think that you're going to see more and more actors embracing that because, let's face it, I mean, legacy media is pretty much done for at this point, especially, late night shows associated with those programs like ABC, for example. It's exactly why you're beginning to see a lot of these actors and actresses really beginning to reject their overall offers. And though they may be in the very, low margin, you're going to begin to see more and more of those rising throughout the rest of the 2020s. There's no doubt about that. Now again, Sylvester Stallone, I think that he showed respect for himself, he showed respect for his team, and he's also showing respect for his fans by not caving to Jimmy Kimmel's disingenuous behavior.
I think that I saw a thing where Jimmy Kimmel said he was quitting. That his deal was up in 2026. Now I don't know if that's your deal's up in.
That means he didn't get renewed.
Well, I don't know if that means you're up in December 31st of 2026 or your deal is up January 1 of 2026. When you say your deal's up in 26, you know what I'm saying?
I haven't seen Stallone on Joe Rogan yet, but I sent you the comments that's making Jimmy Kimmel. I think ABC's looking to possibly get rid of him, the Tesla ones that are causing a lot of people
reprehensible.
upset.
So this is what Jimmy Kimmel said.
Across Washington, across the national security space right now, because here you have a reporter who is included in the...
Okay.
I'm a messenger.
Yeah, I had her, like, your messenger sometimes it gets a little wonky. I think right here.
Yes.
Okay. Not to be confused with the Snow White gimmick.
God.
All right, here we go.
Saw to celebrate. Even been on incidents of arson. Someone lit a bunch of Teslas on fire. And
I think we played this yesterday.
Here's the thing. I get that people are upset. Burning a car might not be great for the environment. I don't think that's what they had in mind when they invented the electric car. In Las Vegas yesterday, someone threw a Molotov cocktail at a Tesla service center. At least 5 Teslas blew up. 1 from the Molotov and 4 because that's just what Teslas do sometimes. And no one should be setting fires. You could kill somebody. You could hurt somebody. Elon Musk might not care about other people, but decent Americans should. The world's richest man, has been trying to drum up sympathy for himself lately. His sales are down. His stock is down. Last night, he was somber as he went through this with Sean Hannity.
Tesla is a peaceful company. We've never done anything harmful. I've never done anything harmful. I've only done productive things. So I think we just have...
Dan, if you could have dinner with that guy, would you?
And I hope to. Yes, he's one of my favorite people alive right now, and it's not because of his political.
It's because of his intellect.
It's because his intellect and his creativity and his drive.
Who
and
would
his
win
success.
an IQ test between you and him?
Oh, he'd probably kill me.
Ranged.
He's probably 180.
There's some kind of mental illness thing going on here because this doesn't make any sense.
Well, let me see if I can explain it for you. When you pull out a chainsaw to celebrate firing thousands of people, they get mad. It's just my God, I mean, this poor guy. You do one, maybe two Nazi salutes, everybody gets all bent out of shape. Donald Trump today had...
Yeah, we saw that yesterday.
Not funny. Bubba, I saw a video of some woman that was driving a Tesla, and a guy stopped in front of her, got out of his car, and started telling her that she needs to sell her car because it's a Nazi company and a Nazi owner. And for someone to call a Jewish guy who went to Jewish school and has a Jewish mom a Nazi is just so ignorant. And I don't understand why they keep that narrative. It's just like it's like calling a black guy anti-black. It doesn't make sense.
I don't know how the narrative flipped. I don't know how, and they're trying to flip the narrative, but it's like everybody can see right through it. Like, let the guy own his car. Listen, his car company was never in play prior to aligning yourself with Donald Trump. So why should it be in play? In fact, it was celebrated. Your car company was celebrated until you made your political choice. So your car company, which has been around for what? Well over a decade.
Yeah.
Okay, so that has nothing to do with your latest political affiliation. Donald Trump wasn't there in the early stages when you were developing Tesla Powerwalls and Tesla cars and things like that. But we just are so shallow as Americans that we want to, put that on your tab because of the political person you affiliated yourself with.
Just so we're clear, Elon is not Jewish.
He went to a Jewish school.
Yeah,
his mom's Jewish.
His mom's not Jewish, but
she's not Jewish.
No.
His dad's Jewish.
No.
No one's Jewish.
No. He just went to a Jewish school and grew up around a lot of Jewish kids.
Well, I mean, he's certainly not anti-Semitic.
Never has been. He's a productive member of society. And the big irony is, in the last 5 years, the only person there's no one who's done more individually for the green movement. He's put more charging stations up in the last 5 years than the government could do in 25. The government did 7 at a cost of like $25 billion apiece in the last 4 years during the Biden administration. And he's done more for the green movement, and they just torch it now. It's just the biggest form of hypocrisy.
The same people that are torching are the same people that are all for clean energy.
And they're the people who are usually getting the money on the other side of these NGOs. That's the big thing.
Look who it is. Why is clean energy good for Elon when he's not a Trump supporter? But now his clean energy car is bad, and you're going to protest it and make and vandalize dealerships and blow up cars after he's made his political alignment.
Exactly.
That is so hypocritical. It's either his car is good for the environment or it's not good for the environment.
Right, and they're doing it saying, he's doing this because he doesn't care about people's jobs. Well, how about the people's jobs whose dealerships you're torching and who work for Tesla or who have stock and retirement benefits in Tesla? You don't care about those lives. You just care about the lives of the government employees who may lose their job for not working? It's crap.
Former Yankees outfielder Brett Gardner's 14-year-old son. This is where we're going to get into a Dan.
There's a Costa Rican too, huh?
Yeah.
Died of asphyxiation while on vacation with his family in Costa Rica. Mike Gardner was staying at an upscale Arenas Del Mar beachfront rainforest resort at the Pacific Coast. And the Pacific Coast. I bet that's beautiful.
I know exactly where that is.
Is it beautiful?
Manuel Antonio National Park.
Beautiful.
Oh my God, it's gorgeous. It's pity asked Wendy to marry him. And that Manuel Antonio National Park, right where that happened. That's where Pity and Wendy got engaged. Brutal. This is absolutely brutal.
Fell seriously ill along with several members of his family. So Dan, that would maybe tend to lead to maybe food poisoning.
Yes.
But then see what it says there: possible intoxication after apparently ingesting some food. So what could be toxic?
Rum cake? I don't understand how you get drunk. Intoxicated is alcohol with food. It doesn't make sense.
Possible intoxication after apparently ingesting some food.
Huh.
This is them at a Bucks game. Is this a Bucks game right here?
No, that's at the Georgia.
Oh, okay. The preliminary cause of death has yet to be confirmed via autopsy and toxicology analysts. An official from Costa Rica's Judicial Investigation Agency has told the outlet. Officials are currently working with the family to transfer his body back here. I'm assuming do they live in Tampa?
No, they think they're South Carolina.
South Carolina. Yeah. The U.S. Department of the U.S. State Department confirmed to the Post that the Costa Rican authorities are actively investigating the death and closely monitoring local authorities' investigations. So Dan would does there come a point where it's too late to do an autopsy? Do you have to do an autopsy relatively soon?
No, you can do an autopsy way late. You don't get the same information, but they'll exhume a body 4 years after a murder to get more information out of it.
Right. But it seems
you could do toxicology.
It says
late.
that the Costa Rican authorities are actively investigating his death and are closely being monitored with local authorities. So is that saying that it seems like they're doing the autopsy in Costa Rica?
Possibly, to get as much information as quickly as possible. And the reason there's supervision is there's no sketchy stuff going on.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know, the American government doesn't trust the Costa Rican government 100% to not hide something.
But not only that, but does the Costa Rican infrastructure have the resources that we have here?
Absolutely not.
Not even close, Jay, right?
No. And when you're talking about literally a little beach town that's in the middle of nowhere, their forensic department's probably non-existent.
The same guy that picks up your garbage is the coroner.
And the police vehicles are 2 mini bikes. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
They're like motorcycles. They're like Enduro 125s. That's a police vehicle.
That's true. So I'm not sure. I'm sure they probably had to take the body to San Jose. They probably had to get a real forensic unit out there because the U.S. government is monitoring it. It's a big deal to have someone die like this. It's a huge deal. It does not happen in Costa Rica
and
a lot.
it's not good for Costa Rica.
No, it's terrible.
PR.
It's terrible.
No.
I mean, Costa Rica, probably 50, 60, 70% of their maybe their economy is tourism.
I would say the vast majority of it is ecotourism.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of it's American.
I was going to say, fragment that down to America. And America's probably 50% of their tourism.
Or 2/3 maybe, right, Jay?
Well, it's gotten more over the years. When I was
Jay
young,
bought a
there was
house
a lot
there.
of Canadian and Euros, and there's been a ton of
Germans.
Americans now. So I would say it's definitely a super high percentage of American tourism is a big part of that country.
And Bubba, that motivation to help protect their tourism is the reason that the Americans are monitoring this to make sure nothing untoward happens during the autopsy, because Costa Rica is motivated not to find anything crazy.
It's usually a very safe place for Americans.
Yeah, the only thing that's bad in Costa Rica is theft.
And Jimmy.
Anything that's not bolted to the ground, they'll steal.
Jimmy Clevis and I saw a dead body at Hocko Beach one time.
You did?
Yeah.
Yes.
We were staying there, me and Jimmy, in 2012.
Fishing?
And no, just whoring.
Yeah.
Chilling
Fishing.
out. Fishing. Fishing with no boat.
Fishing. Los Sueños.
Fishing with no boat or reel. But yeah, fishing. we had a tour guide, $50 a day.
Yeah.
We did. My buddy Keith, who owns a penthouse club, he owns, listen, Jay, he owns a casino in San Jose.
Wow.
And so he's really well tied in.
Yeah.
And he's like, listen, my buddy, for $50 a day, will come and pick you and Jimmy up wherever you want to go and take you to the good parts and keep you out of the dangerous parts.
That's the best.
So we paid him $50 a day. So we're having our morning breakfast, and I see a white sheet over a body about from here to where our mailbox is.
And you're like at the Hocko Beach Resort right there in Hocko.
Yeah.
There's like the main hotel. I know the exact one.
Yeah.
Okay.
That kind of a little one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on the edge of town.
Right there.
Yep.
So I walk out there, and there's no crime scene tape.
No.
There's nothing. There's a white sheet over a dead body with some rocks on the sheet so the wind doesn't blow it. And I'm kind of looking down, and I can see it's a brown-skinned guy. And I'm looking at it, and Jimmy says, get out of there.
Jimmy always pulls you out of bad situations.
So I go, our guy came and picked us up for the day, Paul. I said, hey, Paul, there's a dead body on our beach. He goes, oh, yeah, I know. I go, what do you mean? And I goes, that guy was a known drug dealer and had swindled some people out of some money, and so they killed him. I go, well, are they going to look into it? Or are they going to? He's like,
nope.
It's so the investigation's over. I mean, what do you mean? They'll come pick him up today about 2 or 3, and they'll cremate him and let his family know. But there's no more investigation.
Local justice.
That's how things happen down here.
It's true.
Wow.
But not to American tourists. And
No.
so that's the difference.
to bad
and
people.
It's to bad people.
Not a bad guy who swindles somebody.
In my neighborhood, there was a group of people from out of town that were robbing homes and cars for a 2 or 3 day period. This is like 15 years ago.
In your Costa Rica neighborhood.
In Costa Rica.
Not Davis Island.
And a group of locals got together, found them, burned their car to the ground on the side of the road, and ran them out of town. And that car stayed on the side of the road for about 8 years as a symbol of don't come around our town thinking you're going to rob it. So there is absolutely an element of local justice there. You got to be friends with the locals. But like in a situation like this, you just proved my point. Jaco is so much more developed than Manuel Antonio National Park, and they just had a sheet and rocks.
Yep.
So let's hope that they had the ability to get this kid's body somewhere with a safe chain of custody so they could really investigate what's going on. Because as you know, if they don't, there'll be no valid investigation.
We have so many questions and very few answers at this point. But
14-year-old boys that are healthy and they're the progeny of sports stars, professional athletes. They got better genes than we all do. They don't just die.
No, they're industrial strength.
Yes.
But we don't know that he passed away. I'm sorry. But we do know that he passed away peacefully in his sleep. His mom said.
Which is nonsensical, too.
It looks like Costa Rica officials have said that he had died of asphyxiation after eating, and that's what they came up
You
with.
mean like choking?
Yeah, I sent it's on NBC News.
Maybe
I
he had
sent
something
Bubba.
in his throat. How could that? I mean, after you're done eating,
Was
you're
he
in
hot
room?
chips?
Was you eating in bed and one got stuck?
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't know how peaceful that would be then.
Exactly. That doesn't make sense.
That wouldn't be peaceful at all.
No.
I'd be like gargling him, but for my life, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense.
That's
He's a full-size kid, too.
Sounds horrible.
Brett Gardner's tonight, new details in the sudden and mysterious death of former Yankee Brett Gardner's 14-year-old son. Investigators in Costa Rica say the teen was found in a hotel room Friday and appears to have died by asphyxiation after a possible intoxication from apparently ingesting some food, according to a
This would be something that I would die of.
Doesn't make
An
sense.
asphyxiation
Bubba
from
the Love Sponge is such a
ingestion.
fat
That's
ass
Right.
that he was eating popcorn in bed and got kernels stuck in his throat and died. 300-pound fat ass.
Yeah, but for a guy that choked while drunk because of something he ate doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
It doesn't make
statement
sense.
by the Judicial Investigation Agency. Gardner writing in a statement with his wife that their son Miller left us far too soon after falling ill along with several other family members while on vacation, adding, "We have so many questions and so few answers at this point, but we do know that he passed away peacefully in his sleep."
Is he this kid right here?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's actually
The exact cause of death is
sad.
still under investigation as officials now await autopsy results. The loss moving Gardner's former coach and current Mets manager Carlos Mendoza to tears.
I had the opportunity to coach him in the big leagues, and I got 2 boys too, and they were pretty close.
The family says Miller loved hunting and fishing, along with baseball, golf, and football, sporting the same number 11 as his dad, who played exclusively for the New York Yankees for 14 seasons.
All of his career, which is
awesome.
really, really, really odd.
Yeah, it's amazing.
As Gardner's career blossomed, so did his family, raising 2 boys alongside wife Jessica.
Nice, hot.
I mean, look at the gene pool there. Those kids are superstars. You know what I'm saying? That's not a regular kid.
Now, their
Wish they had a daughter of age.
extended family offering their support. The Yankees posting, words feel insignificant and insufficient in trying to describe such an unimaginable loss that has prompted an outpouring of love and questions. Emily Ikeda, NBC News.
It could be like space cakes or something, that kind of thing.
Still, still.
Doesn't make,
It just doesn't make sense at all.
It's sad. Bubba, before I leave, I got a thank you note. May I read it?
Yeah, go ahead.
First of all, I want to thank Jeff from Oviedo, Florida, again for the signed football from Gail Sayers. Thank you. That's awesome. Awesome.
Man, you're really turning into something around here. You're getting the most. You're getting the most guests. I mean, you're getting the most prizes and everything.
It's fun this week. I needed it. I had a tough few months. Pat and Debbie French sent me a thank you note. There couldn't be a person with more generous heart. You deserve a thank you. It says, Dr. Dan, thank you for offering this medication. I can't read it.
Is it cursive?
Okay, I also want to thank you for the COVID treatment plan you shared with us. I love you and Jay on the show. Both of you are so generous with the Bubba Army and pragmatic. We have been Bubba Army since 1999 when we moved to the area. I'm not your typical fan, almost 70 years old.
Are you choking up?
I can't read. I can't read.
I thought you were getting emotional.
Masters in nursing and love the show, love the tape. Debbie French.
Nice, amazing. A 70-year-old nurse.
Yes, so she loves you, Bubba, too. She was complimenting the whole thing. So she's a nice fan.
She's been your fan since '99,
and she's been a 26-year fan.
Wow,
99,
and writes you of all people.
Thank you, Debbie.
Dan needed it this week.
Dan does need it this week.
Yeah.
Dan, you doing good, buddy?
I'll be all right, man. I just had,
couple speed bumps.
Couple speed bumps along the way.
Are you on a buddy tire or are you on a full size tire?
No, I'm on a buddy tire, and I'm doing 56.
You've never done 56 on a buddy tire ever.
On the new bridge.
Hold on.
I'm so scared.
Hold on. You're on a buddy tire, and it's not like you've been on one for like a month, so the buddy tire is wearing out.
Oh yeah, it's down flat. There's no grooves to it. Yeah, there's no tread. I'm on an old buddy tire, and I'm pushing 56, and it's about to blow up. But you know what, Bubba? Just like I said before, as bad as things get, there's always going to be a better day, and people depend on everyone. Everyone has someone that depends on them, and be strong, be positive. And remember that every day is a new day, and something that's horrible today may turn into, a real opportunity or something great in the future. So I'm trying to be positive and optimistic. It's been a horrific few months, but the house is finally starting to grow.
Although I got an inside Iggy as to why the house is starting to grow.
Yeah.
Steve took over the deal.
Yeah, because we're not waiting on the insurance company anymore. I'm not waiting on FEMA. I'm just doing it myself.
Steve took over the deal with the Krista kicker, and stuff's getting done now.
Yep, it sure is.
And how you have people call in and say how much the show does for them at certain times when they're down. This show does that for Danny. And so these notes and these messages and all these little things that you guys do for Dan, know this. He cherishes that stuff. The carriage house is full of these gifts that you guys have given him. And everyone, he takes the time to sit and explain to me who gave it to him and why they get. You guys are awesome. And so thank you for supporting my brother. It means the world.
Dan, we appreciate you, my friend.
Thank you, everybody.
Well, I know you got to get out of here.
And don't forget, if you get injured or hurt in an accident, please call the law firm, 888-SOS-FIRM. And thank you for all your support with the medical office. And Bubba will take care of your hair.
All right, buddy.
Want to listen to the show on demand and on the go? Enlist today at BubbaArmyHQ.com. Sign up and start listening. The Bubba the Love Sponge Show will be back after this.
if we were just a Tampa show, we would have had Dan driving me back and forth over the new bridge all day in his Tesla truck.
Yes.
With a MAGA flag on it.
Yeah.
On one side and Elon on the other.
Elon's big face on the other.
A big head. Good morning, everybody. Thank you, guys, everybody.
Good morning, Jay.
Good morning. How are you? What up, Nick? Carlos Mandingo.
I love this thing already. It's got a laser on it.
Rudy from Florida, Bad Jake. Holy Oak Joe, good morning, everybody. Big
Laser
Longer.
pointer on it.
Does it show you like where your
You guys, thank you.
You turn it on. It's a little side button. You hold it. It's on right now. That's the side
Buried
button.
in the sand, good morning.
So kind of literally just go like this.
I don't know if it's laser on it, but it should be nice. But I just saw cool.
Farmer Grom, all good. Was in Costa last week for a little bit, got some good waves.
Where do you turn the laser off of?
Side button here.
Okay. That also turns it on and off, doesn't it?
John,
This one is.
Costica, good morning.
Turn it off.
How's Marin
There's
County?
a power button over here.
Where's the power button at?
Hold it down.
Oh, okay.
Right button, you hold it down, turn it on and off.
Okay, now, so if I want to turn it on, I just hit it again, right?
You hit this to record. That's the beauty.
This one?
Yep.
Thank you, Grumpy Old Biker.
What's this button do?
I'm sure if you let me, we've
So this turns it on and off record.
There's his.
And you can probably go like this and
So if you want to see, like, yeah, if you want to.
Oh, okay.
So right now the record light's on. Over there. That's all. So it's pretty simple. And just take a picture of the other side of the bottom button. I'll give you the manual, you can read it. Later after the show. I said I don't know if you want to show it on the show.
Oh, this is supposed to be the
Laser pointer.
D.
Oh, there it is.
Good.
Kind of shows me what I'm doing. But I can also turn it off.
Hold it down.
See you there, Tampa Terry. Radio 11.
Those are banned by the ABA, the FAA.
Jonesy 869. Yeah, we're almost at 1,000. 971. Hit that. Pound that like button.
No,
That's the start stop button right there.
okay. It'll never go that. It always goes this way, right?
You can. I don't. And we want wide. Is it wide format? Yeah, that's wide format. That way. Click that way. And then basically you just record it and stuff and give it to us. We download the video to the computer.
Okay. That's a really stiff fucking.
We make sure you turn it off when you're not using it so the battery doesn't turn it off.
So just go like this, turn off.
Hold it down so it goes ding.
Rob Goldberg. 2469.
Perfect.
Give it a test run today. We can put some video and see what it looks like.
Okay.
There's so many things I want to say. Glory of Love, Satara.
I love when you bust into something 80s, 90s. It's awesome.
Man, I played that for my daughter on the way home. Yesterday it just came up, the Satara song "Glory of Love" because I love it. And
you want the new stuff?
Did she like it?
Friend?
She seemed she didn't seem phased either way, but I realized I was playing her a song that I feel like is probably 20 years old, but it's actually closer to 50.
Think about how old the Beatles sounded when we were kids.
I know. It's a little.
I mean, I have to say, literally, my music's from the 1900s.
Corona resistance is real. The myriad lawsuits against the Trump administration have one aim. Into today, when the reception.
Is she at the age where she wants to wear a Nirvana shirt yet? It'll happen. How old is she?
She's gonna be 8 in May.
By 12, she's gonna want one of those happy face shirts, and you're gonna say you can't wear one until you know 3 Nirvana songs.
She I got Heart Shaped Box on my rotation, so she should be
start with
familiar
that
with
one.
it.
Broadcasting live from the Aquabeto studios.
Aquabeto.com/Bubba.
It's the Bubba the Love.
PayPal, Venmo, Cash App at the Bubba Army. Also, BubbaArmyTips.com. I got the same kind of body cam recorder that Ty J uses.
Oh, sweet.
And I'm going to start wearing it a lot.
Nice.
When I do stuff at the track and stuff, and like when I do the drive-through. Tomorrow when we shave the goats.
You wear it?
I can wear it too.
Perfect.
And I think I just put it on. I think I just put it on, and then I don't know.
Does it have that little clip on it?
Yeah, it's got a little clip on it, and I think it just kind of clips like right there.
Is this for a food review or a track thing?
This is for a life thing.
Oh goodness!
And so, I think it's just constantly recording.
It's not a GoPro. It's some other type of camera.
No,
system?
it's like the Axum
body cams,
like the kind the cops wear.
Can we start a new channel called Bubba's Barrel Chest Cam? And maybe that could be really what takes us to the next level.
It could be.
His IRL stream?
Yeah, IRL, just all the time of what he does.
Oh. Maybe just censor out when he's with Merch Crook.
Oh, no, you got to let it fly.
Uh-oh.
You mean even the sex?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if it's a chest cam on you, we're getting a clear view of her face, and because I know she's got to get on top of you.
Oh, yeah, because she's riding me out.
Yeah,
so
like,
you just
got to climb you like Stone Mountain.
Yeah.
It's fun, though.
But I think I might mess up my collar of my shirt. I think Ty J has like a...
He has a vest.
Oh, he's got... I can't be wearing one of those high-vis vests.
High-vis... what about one of the Bubba Army shirts with the pocket?
Yeah. Maybe I can get one of those, something.
The camera's
but then I got a suction. By the way, this body cam courtesy of GC Supply. Go to gcsupply.com for more information. We just got a Cash App donation from Cody Hernandez.
Thank you.
Now, this has a suction cup device that I can put it up on my windshield. So it acts as a dash cam.
I think it would be a good video watching you drive to Ocala.
I don't think that my attorney Jay would want me to post me going 126 miles an hour.
No.
I thought you used to do pro piloning at a high rate of speed.
I did.
That was my favorite bit.
But see, you know what? I don't actually think that this with a suction cup would show my speedometer.
No, it would just show the cars in front of you.
Yeah.
And if anything happens on your way to 75, not to your car, but to maybe something else. I think people would like to see
Bubba,
it.
They would look at it and they would thump you with it. There's these certain car vloggers that used to do these videos in the cities in like LA, and they got in trouble because they could tell that the other cars were going 60, and when you're zipping by them twice the speed, you're screwed. So you're 100% correct. Do not do that.
My attorney says no.
Doesn't matter whether your speedometer's in the view of it or not.
But what if I'm what if I'm only like 5 over?
If there's no cars on the street, it'd probably be hard for them to tell. But I mean, it's just if there's a point of reference that they could tell, you're the kind of guy that someone's going to report and say, Bubba was on, live thing. And
I was live on Facebook when I flew home for Indiana during a snowstorm, and I was going 105 in the snow.
Whoa.
What, the last one that you did when you were up there for the football game?
The dangerous one.
Remember, I got up to 115 and I started sliding.
People kept yelling, black ice, black ice.
Yeah.
And Chad, I was one of them.
Not black eyes.
No, black ice.
Black ice.
Yeah.
Yes. So I don't know. I at least got it for for this, Lummy. I think I'm gonna have to find a shirt that's got a little bit stiffer of a collar. Because I think this will really take your collar down to zero.
Imagine if you were wearing that when you were doing the water truck and it tipped over. That would have gone viral.
Died.
That's what I'm saying. That would have gone viral. You didn't get hurt, thank God.
I think Ty J wears I think Ty J's got like a crossbody sling.
Is that what you're gonna wear?
For real.
He sent it to me.
Like a crossbody sling that he wears that the body cam hooks up to. Now remember, and Jay, of course, a full-blown lawyer.
I didn't think you would want it, by the way, but I'll find it and send it to you.
Okay, send it to me. But Jay would probably tell you, out of all the hundreds, if not thousands, well, he used to work for the insurance company when he had Progressive and huge firms that he represented. So he's dealt with thousands of people. Out of the thousands of people that he's dealt with, and I'm not just trying to put myself over, have a pretty good legal mind and probably know the court system and how it works as good as most people.
You've got more experience with trials than Brian Matroni. It's not a joke.
And so
is he at 0?
He tried one with me, but I mean, I don't know that he's first chaired it or not. He may have, but my point is just Bubba's been to trial 4 times, and there's a lot of lawyers that go through an entire career with not trying 4 cases just because they're not trial lawyers.
Let alone being a witness. I mean, let alone being on trial. Like being a defendant.
He's had 4 trials. He's been through the criminal system.
I went through the criminal. I've been through the civil.
Would you say if Babyface showed up for his first trial, it would be like My Cousin Vinny?
No, I think that
no, he would nail it.
He over prepares, and he'd call me, and I'd give him everything I've ever used for 30 years and help him, and that's the way he would do it. He would never go into something ill prepared.
But if you, what I'm getting at is this: if you remember right, I said a while back, and this is not pro-Trump or anti-Trump. This is just the way it is. Most people don't understand how the system works, and that is this. Trump can go crazy. He can sign 300 laws and executive orders, and he can have this border czar do A, and I'm going to eliminate the Department of Education B, and I'm going to do all these things. And it's on the front if you're a Donald Trump fan or if you're a Donald Trump hater. It gives you some substance to root for or against. Man, did you hear Donald Trump? He eliminated the Department of Education. Did you hear about Doge? They found 80 zillion extra dollars. Did you hear about this and this and this and this and this and this? But what you don't realize is, and I've said this many a times, the people that really run our country are the federal judges.
Mm-hmm.
Because everything that Trump's, for the most part, now some of his executive order stuff can get rubber stamped through, but everything is up. You can object to any of it. You can take the opposing people can take everything to court. You can take a guy stealing your ham sandwich to court, and so now all of these federal judges are just at an alarming rate, inundated with all of Trump's stuff. So listen, whether you're a Trump fan or whether you're a Trump proponent, you have to understand that at best, 50% of his stuff's going to get thrown out. I mean, just because of if he gets a Republican federal judge that's playing ball that might have been appointed by him, he's fine. But he's going to get a percentage of his executive orders heard by Clinton appointed judges, Barack appointed judges, Biden appointed judges, and it gets thrown out.
Yep.
Am I right, Jay?
You're 100% right, and it's interesting because they showed a graphic of how many times this has been done to other presidents versus Trump, and Barack Obama, George W. Bush, and Biden. If you add them all together, they're only half the amount of temporary restraining orders from federal judges were ruled against them in 3 full presidencies. And they've outdone that with Trump right now.
So
there's a very interesting question that he's
going
posed.
Crazy.
They are, which is, how can a local judge in some little municipality decide what's right for the entire nation?
I think.
And so there's a new challenge that we've never seen in our lifetime, which is this is with the wartime act of the El Salvadorian gang members, the Tren de Aragua, and the MS-13 and those planes. And so the judge was trying to force the United States government to turn a plane around and bring these criminals back into the country. And so we have a new question of law that's never been presented in our lifetime, which is, does a judge have the power to prevent the presidency from invoking national policy?
And the answer is yes.
I don't know. I don't think the answer is yes.
Federally,
I think the answer is depending on the issue, not wartime issues.
Well, I'm just saying, I mean, let's listen to Laura Ingraham. This is where I got the story from.
And the reception Trump received through his lawyers wasn't an embrace, it was a rebuff. Judges in 3 different jurisdictions trying to rein in the sitting president, who was elected to make good on a clear set of campaign promises. The rogue resistance is real. The myriad lawsuits against the Trump administration have one aim: to make it impossible for him to implement key parts of his agenda. Now, they aim to drown him and the DOJ in a nonstop wave of litigation, challenging everything from his move to separate transgender troops from military service, to shrinking the federal workforce, to deporting the most dangerous illegal aliens imaginable. Now, the idea that any plaintiff with standing can forum shop for the most liberal jurisdiction, then one judge in that district can stop the president's policies, it's obscene. First, Judge James.
But as of now, that's the way it is. I mean, right, Jay? I mean, we're not agreeing with that, but as procedurally right now, that's how it's structured.
That's what's happening right now. The judges are imposing temporary
James
restraining
Boasberg
orders.
in D.C. denied the Trump team's petition to vacate his earlier rulings that put a temporary hold.
So, like, a lot of people, they get, oh my God, Trump. I said, man, Trump may do whatever you may or may not like. I like it. But it doesn't mean that it's going to go through. He's got a lot of these people that are pulling against him, and all these judges are circling the wagons.
On deportations
Congress
under the Alien Enemies Act of 1798. Boasberg ruled that while the government doesn't have to release any potential deportees in custody going forward without conceding the harm that most of these vicious foreign criminals had done to their innocent victims, Boasberg lamented the living conditions in the Salvador prison.
Now, it would be interesting for you to look at each of these federal judges and who they were appointed by.
But see what he's saying now? That this is a wartime act that they're using. And so what they're saying here in this one is this isn't just a judge who's making some commentary on the president's ability to do or not do something. The president's wartime ability is really unimpeachable. They can do whatever they want with regard to war. And so this is just some judge in some district that was appointed by Obama who doesn't like what the president's doing and is imposing these obligations upon the government that are not in the act. So I think this one is going to be a problem.
In the D.C. District Court of Appeals today, at an oral argument challenging Boasberg's initial hold on the deportations, Obama nominee Judge Patricia Millett made her own political speech with words chosen that would, of course, guarantee her national media coverage.
There were plane loads of people.
Boasberg was by Bush.
Well,
Boasberg is by Bush, who set up the first one, and she's by Obama.
Let's listen to what she has to say.
Procedures in place to notify people. Nazis got better treatment under the Alien Enemy Act than has happened here.
Really?
Right.
Nazis, of course. They're back to Nazis. And then in another court, the commander-in-chief was blocked again in a case involving transgender airmen challenging Trump's executive orders, proclaiming, guess what, controversial, there are only 2 sexes, and the other one barring openly transgender military personnel from serving in the military. Now, U.S. District Judge Christine O'Hearn, another Biden appointee in this case, ruled for the 2 trans plaintiffs and granting the preliminary injunction. So these are just 3 of the cases. There are many, many more.
By the way, there's hundreds more. Hundreds. Everything that Trump's writing is getting thrown up the ladder.
It is fatuous.
The Democrats don't have any other way. They can't beat it in Congress. They can't beat it in the Senate. They can't beat it publicly. Public sentiment right now is his popularity is way more than they are. So they got to use these federally appointed judges as their henchmen. That's the only hope they got, is to go ahead and tie it up judicially.
To say that the courts are not acting politically here, or that Trump is somehow out of bounds in criticizing the judges. This is absurd. Anyone who knows their history knows that presidents going back to Thomas Jefferson criticized the courts. FDR criticized the courts. Reagan criticized the courts. And Trump is criticizing the courts. Oh, and by the way, Democrats all along always criticized the courts when they didn't get their way. We all remember also what the left did when Democrats largely ignored what they did when things went their way, didn't go their way.
Hands off our body! Hands off our body! Vote them out! Vote them out! Vote them out!
All day long, I saw the zeitgeist on the other cable networks. They were all celebrating, of course. It's basically saying Trump versus the courts. It's not going to end well for Trump, we're supposed to believe. I'll say tonight that is wrong. It ultimately will not end well for the courts themselves. We saw what happened to the credibility of the once respected and supposedly impartial organizations, all of them, when they turned against the popular will. From the FBI to the DOJ to Dr. Fauci, the NIH, CDC, the universities, to the corporate media. They're all weaker than they used to be. Now, why? Is it because conservatives are mean? No. It's because they were all, in their own ways, weaponized and politicized against the people whom they're supposed to serve. So in this case, all these renegade judges, all that they're doing with these Trump cases, it's teaching the 77 million Americans who supported Trump that the courts can't be trusted.
So, Jay, what happens when a federal judge strikes down an executive order? What's the protocol from that point forward after he or she says no? Does it go back and then get a congressional or Senate override? Or does it go to an appellate court and then a congressional or Senate override? I don't know. I don't know the procedure.
Technically, once a judge makes a decision on a temporary restraining order, like the easy example is what Biden did with student loans. He tried to use a wartime act to justify paying off the debts for students. And that went all the way to the Supreme Court, and they said, that's unconstitutional, Joe. And they sent it back. And so what did he do? He tried to find another mechanism within another existing law to do it, which is now being subject to the same type of scrutiny. So I do believe there has to be guardrails on what a president can do by executive order, but I do think that it depends on whether it's within the executive's authority and the executive's branch. I think that federal courts have gotten way too powerful and way too involved and meddling in presidential policy. We keep hearing about Elon's this unelected dude, this the richest man in the world. Well, we got a bunch of unelected federal officials who are appointed by political presidents and appointees who are making these decisions for us. And it doesn't appear in my life that they're doing it based on the law. It seems like they're doing it based on politics. And that's distressing to me as a lawyer, because I've seen the degradation of the application of the law right in front of my eyes for the last 20 years. And the first example was when they allowed in Florida illegal aliens to get a Florida bar license. We don't let someone who is from Georgia get one. If you're not a resident of Florida, a citizen of the state of Florida, you cannot become a bar certified lawyer. But you can if you're an illegal.
What? Hold on now. What?
Yeah. And so when that happened, I started thinking to myself, that's a perversion of the law.
No, wait, hold on. So if you're a illegal resident of Florida.
No, yes.
You can go to law school and pass and apply to take the bar, the bar test, the bar exam. And if you pass, you now are a member of the Florida bar, meaning you're allowed to practice law in Florida.
You do not have to be a citizen of the United States.
And how many states are like that? And how did we get like that?
It was during the Dreamer phase when...
The what phase?
Remember Dreamers were The way they coined them were the children of people who brought them over here, without any authority, and we can't hold anything against them. And so when those kids became of age, they started getting scholarships, they started going to colleges, they started getting law degrees, and then they started lobbying very, very heavy. And they have, Dreamers are one of those things that even President Trump's talking about, a way to give them a path to citizenship. And so, yeah, Dreamers were allowed to be bar-certified lawyers in the state of Florida.
Wow. But they're not citizens of our country.
Correct.
How did DeSantis let that through?
Happened way before him.
How can he not overturn it?
Because it's a Florida Supreme Court issue.
Wow.
Did it happen during the Lawton Childs days?
If you liked that segment, then you'll definitely like the new redesigned BubbaArmyHQ.com. We'll be back to the Bubba the Love Sponge show after this.
And Nirvana came here. He pissed on stage. He got arrested. Jane's Addiction wouldn't come. It was almost like the 70s with the Doors, where they wouldn't come to Florida because it was like this.
Because of Bob Martinez?
Yeah, because if you did something wrong, they were going to arrest you, like literally in Florida. And so I was like, fuck that. I'm voting for a different governor. So I voted for Lawton Childs and Charlie Crist. I voted for Alex Sink. I've done a lot of Democrats for Florida.
Who did Alex Sink run against? Because she lost, right?
Charlie? She lost against, who was it, Bubba?
Rick
Scott.
Rick Scott.
That's right.
And you know what crushed her is? She reached under the podium and grabbed her phone. Remember that? It's before you could just tell them things in earpieces.
Yeah, he had so much money though. She had it tough.
He was.
He was.
I think didn't he put hundreds of millions of dollars in himself or something like that?
Yeah, I think he does for every
Tens
campaign.
of millions of dollars.
Yeah, I don't think he's had a close campaign ever. What do I know? Yeah, Fat Pig, we got a pigmentation at 12 today. It's our 1 year anniversary. We're going to do something crazy, but instead we're just going to show up and do the show. Lummy, by the way, I was going to tell you after the show, but I don't think anybody needs to be here for the show today.
You just got to show them how to tape it.
No, I know how to tape it. I don't think I need anything special on camera, so.
Oh, no?
No, so I don't think anybody needs to be here.
Okay.
What's up, Jay Bowler? Thank you for the emojis. One year in podcast land, that's pretty good. Majority of mine haven't lasted that long. On that block party. Thanks, Bubba Fan, David. What up, Johnny Z? What up, Sicilian Redneck? What it do? What it do? What's up, David? Xerxes, I can't disagree with you anymore. At least in my small world.
Well, I sent you the strap that Tyja uses.
Okay.
What's up, Ed? I mean, thanks to you guys. I mean, you guys are the ones that listen to it. Support those guys. Support the event that we tried to do. I mean, it's crazy that the barbershops gets calls from South Carolina, Ohio, fucking all over the country. They're blown away by it. Berto, grab me too, man. I'll send you the money. This is an unbelievable steal. Those boxes are $30 minimum. I've seen minimum.
David Ross.
I'm a chrysanthemum, grumpy old biker.
Congratulations, Jay Bowler.
I'm a
We're now
chrysanthemum.
looking up what an Alpha 25 is. I assume it's something bowling very difficult to get.
Alpha 25 is
The 25 300s? What is it? Huh? Oh, that's what that is.
the LRD Alpha 25.
I want my new one. I'm supposed to get one.
You can call during the show today.
Bubba, those commercials are up.
I'll take calls.
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay.
Thank you. I need more of them.
Yeah, we're rendering them.
Thanks, Debo. Cock's out. You can't see it, but it's out, baby.
My high karate, I'm out of it.
What's up, Dan? Berto, that's the kind of shit that you can,
Hey, let me
flip.
text this body thing to me. Text it to me.
Okay.
And Berto, if you ever see any of those McDonald's Crumbs cards out, let me know. I can't find those fuckers, and I'm tired of driving around town. We all have to cover our own targets and Walmarts on our side of the bay. That's the deal. Xerxes, who the Pats drafted, man?
You're over 1,000.
They gonna let
everybody.
They gonna let my man Mason Graham fall to 10? Sounds like did Artie really have an Allen Ginter card? That'd be funny if he did. What's up, Bubba Nash? Long time no speak. Not long time no see. That's only been a couple months. Thanks, Berto.
Broadcasting live from the Aquabito studios, aquabito.com/Bubba. It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
No Clem Kush today. I think that you guys can see that I'm battling some sickness. I don't get sick very often. Not even Dan's drugs or potentially drugs that he could prescribe me. I guess I just got one of those, common colds, upper sinus infection.
You think this is the terminal cold that's been going around?
Yeah, I do. I think it is. Yeah.
Oh, man.
I get this about once every couple years. But I got my Afrin, and I got my honey, and I got my olive oil.
If you just rest your throat, man, you'll be okay.
Yeah, I'm literally thinking about taking about 1,000 pills and going to bed about 3 o'clock.
Okay, I don't want to. Maybe just take 900, just so maybe we could possibly see you tomorrow.
Oh, I got it dialed in. I know what will kill me, and I know the.
Well, but that's what everybody.
I know the edge.
We don't want anything to happen peacefully in your sleep.
This is what Heath Ledger thought he had it dialed in. Everybody thinks they have it dialed in.
That's right.
It's not dialed in.
I got it dialed in.
River Phoenix.
It's a wild card, man.
I got it dialed in.
All pills are made differently.
No, I'm not buying my pills from other than my. I'm not getting any fentanyl on the street.
Oh boy.
I'm just going to my Publix prescription place. I know, but I think of all. There's this pharmacist at Publix that I know. I think I have to be the guy who gets the most pills. Oh. I gotta be her number one customer.
How many medications are you on?
Quite a bit.
Like 6?
But like 30.
What? Oh my goodness.
I don't know how many. I could really rock. if I wrote them down, I'm writing them down. Let's see. I don't even want to.
Don't do it, Bubba. Yeah. I just, which ones are for pain and which are for pleasure?
I don't take any pain. I don't take any pain pills. None. I just take pills.
I hear you, man.
I take a daily Cialis, which keeps your prostate healthy.
Okay.
I take.
Doesn't that get you aren't you like half wooded up?
He's always ready.
It gets you. You're always. I take a 5 milli. This is from Dr. Mark. I take a 5 milligram daily Cialis, which keeps your prostate shrunk and also keeps you ready to have a boner at any time. Jeez. I take a 0.4 milligram Flomax, which helps with your urine stream. Because I have kidney stones.
Do you have a weak stream?
No. Well, as Jay will tell you, as you get a little bit older, your stream does get a little weaker.
Really? It's just kind of drippy?
Jay doesn't have those problems, I guess.
I forget I'm not dealing with Dan, somebody my age. I'm dealing with somebody 10 years younger.
I'm 55 almost.
I pee so hard outside that it bounces back up at me.
Well,
do you think I'm doing
that
good?
will go away.
You're in your 30s.
I'm 43, man.
Okay. You got about another 5 years
Dude,
of a strong stream, and then it starts dwindling down from there.
When I worked at Cox, this was the most offensive thing that ever happened. The sales manager, Paul DeFazio, walked into the bathroom as I was peeing during commercial break.
And he's like, he heard that stream, and he's like, God,
he's
dang.
like, man, that is quite a stream. He's like, your prostate must be the size of a grapefruit. And I'm like, I was like, yeah, I didn't know really much
he's
about.
Completely wrong.
Did he ask to check it?
He said your prostate must be the size of like a walnut.
Well, he
because
didn't.
It's little.
He made it. He said it was a grapefruit. I remember vividly because I don't like grapefruits.
If you got a grapefruit size prostate, then it's pushing against your bladder, and your bladder cannot drain.
Well, now I'm starting to get worried that he diagnosed me.
He should have said that you have a very healthy prostate and a very strong stream.
Well, I was actually just okay with the one comment. I thought it had one too far for guys talk at that point. So I just had to get back on the air with Drew. But I'll never forget it when he
strong
walked in.
Streams are good.
Were you young too?
He was jealous. Yeah. I was in my early 30s.
You don't want to be talked to while you're peeing when you're in your early 30s.
When I still had a relationship with my son, we went to the Lightning game one time, and he's like, 18, 19. And we're the Lightning urinals. They have a partition.
Yeah.
But you can still hear the guy next door. You can't see him, but you can hear him.
Yes.
So I'm peeing, and Tyler lets out, and I'm like, my God, Tyler, what type of horsepower do you got behind your pee? And he's like, what do you mean? It sounded like a fire hose over there.
Man, stream envy is really something that I didn't know existed.
Sure does.
I've always tried to pee on the side of the toilet so I don't make any noise.
Yeah.
Like, I try to avoid the water.
That's the move. Jay.
So I take a Flomax. I take a Cialis. I take a, what else do I take?
Take any blood pressure or anything?
No blood pressure.
Well, that's good. Those are all preventative stuff, prophylactic stuff.
Yeah. I take some stuff to sleep.
But that's necessary.
Yeah, a couple things to sleep. But nothing really recreationally or really like...
No.
But if I was to die and they were to do an autopsy, they would say, Papa Clem had... And then all the stuff that they would list would be really bad, but I take it in a really responsible way.
We'd skip the autopsy, Bubba. We would just say, look upstairs. Merge Crick will go ahead and just show you everything that's in his body, and we can just take him straight to the morgue.
Oh, man.
I'm going to actually not even ask for an autopsy. Because the next thing you know, they're going to put everything they found in my system in there, and it's going to look a lot worse than it really is.
Autopsies are very rare.
Yes.
They're only done under the most
like the Hackmans,
suspicious
right?
of circumstances.
Yes, exactly.
Correct.
I
They're
got
not
killed
done
in the middle
under
of
a
the night
normal
by
case. When my father passed, we didn't go get an autopsy and see what he passed of.
Oh, yeah.
He's an old man who passed of being old.
Right, exactly.
And it's if it's like the 14-year-old kid, they're doing an autopsy there.
Well, no, they got to.
Yeah, it's got to.
Rodney Jones. Who's Rodney Jones? Is he one of these rapper dudes?
He's a plaintiff's lawyer.
Yeah.
Rapper dude.
Or he's the guy that was represented by this lawyer who was getting scolded by the judge.
Rodney Jones lawsuit versus P. Diddy.
Yeah, he was a
Judge
plaintiff.
tosses out the majority of the claims and scolds his lawyer.
Who's a producer?
Diddy won a small victory in court when a judge tossed out the majority. You're going to try to tell me that they're not listening to us at all times? Did I not just talk about, Lummy, a high-res vest to hold my body cam?
And what is up there?
That is crazy.
Jay, they're listening.
Of course.
But they are just trying to help you, Bubba. They're listening, but they're giving you what you're looking for.
But I don't want them listening to me.
It's too late. It's too late for all that unless you want to go off the grid like Tim Pool and live in the middle of West Virginia with no electricity in a compound. But right now, we're in Tampa, Florida, big city, bright lights, and they're listening.
Well, we got Alexa in here. She's been listening for years.
Exactly.
According to new legal docs. Now, is this is not gonna get...
That's the plaintiff?
Yeah. According to the new legal documents obtained by TMZ, the judge dismissed 5 of the 9 claims that Rodney Jones has made against Diddy, including RICO claims, infliction of emotional distress, and breach of contract. Now, this is just one of the dudes that are, I mean, he's got like, what, all these chicks? I'm like, this doesn't get him out of trouble, does it?
Doesn't look like it's going to be completely getting out of trouble.
This is I gotta say, this is not for bringing up the story, but I'm ready for the Diddy trial to happen and be over.
I want it to go. I want the Diddy trial to happen next week.
Yeah, I'm ready for it to be over because all of the little things that keep popping up, his attorney that left, and this guy's suing, and he escaped this, and another person's coming forward that he's always been a great person.
Right.
I'm just ready for them to get through this process, and so we can follow the next celebrity case.
Here, this is TM.
I knew that I wasn't in good health. Then one day I went to get my blood work done, and the results were not good. I was potentially going to take time away from me with my children.
Well, I got my blood work done, and I'm good as hell.
There was no support. Mochi taught me life. I'm just really happy that my kids get to grow up with a mom who can do things.
My kid, I wish he could grow up with a dad.
60 pounds. And they're giving me the...
Has nothing to do with my fatness.
Check out joinmochi.com.
Okay.
Yesterday afternoon, we broke a big story on the website. Diddy has been sued by a man who worked for him, claiming that Diddy had repeatedly sexually assaulted him.
Now, is this the guy that they're talking about and all of his stuff got thrown out?
Yes.
Yeah.
That is just the beginning of a lawsuit.
See, maybe.
Diddy definitely banged this guy, by the way.
But here's the deal.
You can see the sorrow in his eyes.
Jay, isn't this kind of the first one that's been kind of gone to a judge for him to make a summary judgment or to look at the validity, and he threw out 5 of the 9. I don't know that any of the other ones have yet been in front of a judge, and what if Diddy has this type of success on all the other 50 people that are suing him?
I'd want to know what the 4 remaining claims are.
Filled
because
with
if it's sexual assault and all the real ones, sounds like the rest of these were tic-tac stuff, breach of contract, RICO, and it's a stretch to say there's some RICO thing here.
Before we even get into it, we should say there are red flags on this lawsuit that something isn't right.
Right. But first let's start with...
But I'm with Seth. You guys have just teased us, and you've detained him now, going on a year?
Seems like a long ass time.
Yeah, it seems like right around there.
And let's get this thing going.
Thank you.
What Rodney is alleging in the suit, which is that, as you said, not only Diddy repeatedly sexually harassed and assaulted him, but that there were associates around Diddy who were also involved with
That's
this.
every story with Diddy is that it was him and a bunch of other people around.
Like a party.
And this goes right along the lines of the fact that these were all people that were trying to make it in the industry, whether they're rappers, whether they're producers, whatever, and that this is him and his guys preyed on him.
Right.
The lawsuit, they are defendants in the lawsuit.
Hey, you want a record deal? I'm going to have to do,
Remember, it was the egg game. They had to do the egg game.
You had to carry.
Don't forget about that.
You had to put an egg in your butt.
And not break it, right?
Yeah. I could never do that. Just putting it in my butt would break it.
Well, you could never be Black Rob then, or the Locks.
Stevie J, longtime producer.
I'm glad I didn't want to be Black Rob anyway.
Producer for Bad Boy, and obviously very famous from Love and Hip Hop.
I don't possess that skill set.
And then also Justin Combs, Diddy's son. He alleges that he was involved in bringing in human trafficking, essentially, he says, and that some of the people that he was bringing for these sex parties were underage.
But as for Rodney, what he is alleging, among so many other things, some of which we're not going to talk about on television, but he is alleging groping, fondling, grooming, and he goes on and on about going to a party where he says he was drugged and allegedly raped, or at least.
But if you didn't have any, and I'm not sticking up for Diddy here, please don't anybody think that. But if you went to a white party and you could document the fact that you were there, but how would you be able to document the fact that you got raped unless you made a report or had some type of text that incriminated the other guy or video footage? It's just his word against your word, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. And it's consensual versus forced.
Right.
Insinuation from the lawsuit for sure. And it goes on and on and on. But he says he has receipts in this lawsuit. And one of the receipts is an image. Again, we're not going to show you this, but it's an image of a sexual act.
Right. He says in the lawsuit that it is Stevie J having sex with a man and he says that he got that image because...
Now, see, Seth, this is where we need to get this trial going so we can start seeing some of this stuff.
It starts in May. It looks like it came out while we were on vacation, and it looks like they have dozens of tapes.
Don't talk to me about tapes.
It says prosecutors say they have dozens of tapes depicting Combs' so-called freak-off, sometimes day-long sex performance between sex workers.
Hold on. Is that what stuck? Because don't forget, the judge threw 5 of these 9 out from this dude. So, like, when you say that they have dozens of tapes with P. Diddy having sex,
there might not be rape on the tape, but there might be the sex workers that were trafficked. There might be people that are underage.
Yes.
Orgies.
But is that part of the lawsuit that's still viable?
That's his sex trafficking case that starts in May.
Yeah, those are all the charges going there.
Sent it to him.
Okay, so that's up and beyond this particular ruling. This is what they have as a body of work against Diddy.
But the stories about Diddy initially, I mean, the stuff that you would hear about Diddy initially started where, he would have sex with somebody that was trying to make it. So, like this obviously
like Justin Bieber.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, that's one of the rumors, but it's kind of like this producer's like, hey, you want to get a song on, Can't Nobody Hold Me Down, then, you're going to need to suckle away. And I think that's what a lot of stuff, now you've realized it's on a much, much greater scale of the perverted stuff that he was a part of.
Yeah, it looks like they have 90 cell phones, laptops, cloud storage, 30 storage devices with hard drives, and it looks like out of 120 of the defendants, 25 were underage.
And then what you were asking, Bubba, is the case is still moving forward despite 5 of the 9 claims being tossed, and the most serious of the claims, sexual assault against Diddy, were not dismissed. So those cases are still going against him in this civil action by this ex-producer. And that's in addition to what Seth is talking about, which is the federal prosecution criminally, which involves RICO and underage sex rape allegations, and those are very, 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 very serious criminal allegations. Why they're not even letting them get out of jail.
Sometimes you got to watch out. That civil will get you.
It'll get you on the backside.
Civil will get you on the backside.
Way to say, look, this is what we do, and you should join us in this. This is.
Do you think that this will be the most salacious trial ever of our life?
Dude, come on. You're going against OJ?
Well, I mean, no. I mean, OJ was just, he hacked up 2 people.
Well, do you remember Heidi Fleiss? Does it get much more salacious than that?
Oh, that was a big one.
Was Casey Anthony a big one, or the country, or just locally here?
Worldwide.
Yeah, but this one is
It's a mega celebrity, yeah.
This, as far as sex.
Harvey Weinstein?
Yeah, but.
What do you want to whack it during the proceedings, Bubba?
This is a good, actually, you're right. That's a comparison. It's like the music version of a Harvey Weinstein casting couch.
But
what will you do to make
greater.
it in the music industry?
I mean, they had like 16 actresses with Harvey Weinstein, but they didn't have any tape. They didn't have any. They just had
like 27 women all say that he showed up to the door
did the same exact thing
in a robe, and then asked if he could whack into the shower while they watched.
But I mean, like here, they say they've seized 30 cell phones and however many terabytes of hard drive. I mean, Harvey Weinstein had 27 chicks that said he did the same thing.
This is the R. Kelly thing where you heard about it for years, and now he's in jail for who knows how long. It's going to be the same thing with Diddy, where all this stuff leaked out for years and years about him. Apparently, everybody knew about the parties and what happened there, and now this. And I feel like somebody mentioned that his son might have been part of the sex trafficking operation. So I would imagine that he would comply and do anything to definitely keep his sons out of jail or out of getting caught up in this.
And Jay, this is a 2-kicker. They'll go criminal, and then that will basically be the foundation the civil comes in on.
He's facing dozens of civil lawsuits in addition to this massive criminal lawsuit that he's dealing with.
Right.
What Stevie J does, it's what I do, and you should join us in this. That's how he describes this image. And it's in the lawsuit. We're not showing it to you, but what's interesting is that there are other places on the internet that it was published, that photo. And
let me see if you can find it.
Oh.
What's it called?
I would just say Rodney Jones photo.
Is it?
Yeah,
it's in the lawsuit.
I sent you also a story of like when we were on break, him say not guilty, and they kind of go over his charges.
What's the picture of? Is it him getting mounted by Diddy?
I'm looking for it. I don't really want to, but
better turn off Safe Search.
Oh, it's off.
If you want a deep dive into the Bubba the Love Sponge show from the past, go to BubbaArmyHQ.com. We'll be back after these words.
I think Diddy's going to go to jail based on the way they're handling him
also known as P. Diddy,
pretty
got
soon.
possessions and 1,000 bottles of baby oil. What is actually going on with P. Diddy? Sean Combs, also known as P. Diddy, was arrested on charges related to sex trafficking, drug possession, freak obsessions.
I can't find anything, Bobby, or Lummy, you.
On what, the picture?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's him, yeah.
What's up, Tom Skilson? Steve. You know, it's interesting, when all the Me Too stuff was happening, I remember saying on the radio, how come nothing's happening to the musicians yet? Because, you know, you think about, like, when we were kids, it was, you know, the roadie would go out and say, hey, you want to meet Steven Tyler? Okay, you got to suck me off first, and then you're going to go meet Steven Tyler.
Tyler got one during that time.
Yeah, but he took care of that one pretty quick.
He did, so yeah, because the musicians were paying him.
Good lawyer.
Oh! Oh my gosh. Is it 7-Eleven?
What's up, Grouper Lips?
Shut up, is that the picture you found? It's a picture of the load?
It's him like this. With like 10 dudes around him.
No.
Fuck up, man. That's
No, you found it?
Oh, he's kidding. He's kidding. And
Okay.
he just was joking about bukkake, which is a little concerning.
He was fantasizing.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
What's up, White Ice Tea? Morning, Duck God. Oh, but I watched some of that wrestling last night on YouTube. Yeah, it was awesome.
What wrestling?
The national championship. Just to watch the matches. It was just,
Did you watch the heavyweight?
Yeah. It's just awesome. It was so funny. My wife goes, well, what did he do? I said, it's a collegiate take. She didn't understand that just doing what he did was magic.
Right.
That no one had done that. And he had 44 seconds to do it. It was incredible.
I gotta see what.
Then up Highway 73. Wright Farm, Johns Island, Grouper Lips. HS Bubba Fan 69. Michael Ramos Sr., good morning. Rainy, Oklahoma Realtor. Good morning. Berto Perez, what up, buddy? Thank you guys for smashing the like button. We're over 1,000. Are we ever going to do 1,100? That should be the next easy goal. How about that?
Make sure to tell you again that he was sorry.
I'm gonna go see him after.
He said, tell him I meant to say I don't. I just,
Did he order the Uber Eats? Is that what he was coming out to get? Was that guy Uber Eats that you let in?
Macho got it.
Okay. Is that what he was running to get from Macho?
It's a 3-pound peanut. It's an interesting name.
Well, I mean, I think all I need for the for pigmentation is just every camera but Bubba's.
Oh, okay. So four shot.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Lance is coming. Lance.
Broadcasting live from the Aquabito Studios. Aquabito.com/Bubba. It's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show.
Lummy kind of found a all-encompassing story about the P. Diddy trial, and it's all wrapped up in a minute 36, which is great for us to say goodbye, Lummy.
Yeah, it's perfect.
But it kind of tells you what he's facing and when it might go down.
Freak off sessions and 1,000 bottles of baby oil. But what is actually going on with P. Diddy? Sean Combs, also known as P. Diddy, was arrested on charges related to sex trafficking, drug possession, and firearm offences. And if found guilty on some of these charges, he could serve life in prison. There is so much across social media with videos and hot takes, but here is what we actually know. The rapper is facing a wave of lawsuits by women who have accused him of sexual assault, with allegations including inducing female victims and male workers into drug-fueled sexual performances called freak-offs, which were sometimes filmed. Victims allegedly given controlled substances during sometimes day-long events to keep them obedient and compliant. And when P. Diddy's home was raided in March, around 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant were seized. So what has P. Diddy said? He has pleaded not guilty to all charges, with his lawyer saying Diddy is an imperfect person.
I mean, 1,000 bottles of baby oil doesn't make you necessarily guilty.
No.
Not a criminal.
Mr. Combs is a fighter. He's going to fight this to the end. He's innocent. He's been looking forward to clearing his name, and he's going to clear his name.
Combs was denied bail after his lawyers offered $50 million for him to be released to home with strict monitoring.
Man, $50 million. And if you remember, it was $50 million relinquishing of all cell phones, all iPads, all forms of communications, passports with an ankle monitor, and you had to stay at home. Like,
the judge decided there was no condition that would keep the safety of
plus $50 million
community, and the rapper would not tamper with the witnesses. So what happens now? Combs is being held at a detention center in Brooklyn, where he will remain until his trial begins. A date
when does his trial scheduled?
May.
May, isn't it?
Yeah, May.
Hasn't been set, as investigations are still ongoing, with prosecutors saying they've interviewed more than 50 witnesses and victims to Combs' alleged abuse.
50.
We going wall-to-wall coverage on this?
No, we don't have. Please.
Okay, all right.
You got you something lined up for today?
Yeah, I got a Tunnel on Kristen podcast, and then I'll be live on YouTube for any subscribers to watch Operation Pigmentation before that comes out tomorrow.
Perfect. Everybody have a great day. Hopefully, Lummy, I'm going to bed.
Good luck.
Thank you, Jay.
Night. Thank you.
Thanks for letting me finish.
You've been listening to the Bubba the Love Sponge Show, starring
me, Bubba the Love Sponge,
co-host and show historian Lummit.
It's Seth, co-host and president of podcasting.
It's Brian Matroni, king of counter programming.
Rhett, the filthy ginger video editor.
Yeah, back here wiring up. It's Mini Macho.
The BRN agent, Thomas Buttoned Up B.
Co-host Dr. Dan Diaco, Esquire of Council.
Co-host J. Diaco, Esquire, the Spitting Cobra of Council.
Now, time for the legal disclaimer.
Exactly.
The Bubba the Love Sponge Show is intended solely for the enjoyment of our listening audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of this show without express written consent of the Bubba Radio Network is prohibited.
We must dissuade him of this delusion.
Until next time, always remember.
I'll repeat hello.